A crossover is
crossover dribble.
crossover.
Kyrie Irving crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time. Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul. The crossover continues to evolve.
Crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha, everlevelconcrete.com. Happy birthday, Sister Jean.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Sister Jean.
5.
What a day.
She was born August 21st, 1924.
What do you guys think her thoughts
What was going on that day? Let's check the newspapers.
Yeah, what happened that day? I just mentioned in the previous segment that she is older than Prohibition by a year.
In 1924, Calvin Coolidge won a 3-way presidential election,
I think
becoming the first president to deliver a radio broadcast from the White House.
Remember how controversial that election was? Jeez. Man.
Here, have your mic on.
Yeah,
she's seen some things. What do you think she? What are her thoughts on AI?
Allen Iverson?
Not Allen Iverson. Well, maybe both.
I remember Allen Iverson.
He's a sweet young man.
Let's see.
Wait,
what do we got?
It says here, vice president vacant. Did we not do vice presidents in 1924?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't have a worthy running mate, and they're just like, you know what, we're good.
That's a legitimate question. I'm an idiot. I don't know.
You know, if something happens to the sitting president, we'll cross that bridge when we
Here
get
we
there.
go. Here's one. February 9th, 1924. The National Hockey League expands to the United States for the first time with the inclusion of the Boston Bruins.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Canada.
Also born August 21st, 1924, Jack Buck. Who died more than 20 years ago.
All right. I remember that.
So he sells.
He probably sold for Camel X too.
She shares a birthday with Jack Buck.
Yes, like a birth date. She also shares a birthday with Usain Bolt.
Oh,
happy birthday, Usain Bolt.
One of the most celebrated triple-digit people in our country and one of the most celebrated fast people in our country.
Yeah.
I see the
October
correlation.
9th,
In our
1924.
world,
Yeah, that's not in our country, I guess. What's that?
Soldier Field opens.
Hey!
Let's check what was going on in baseball.
Is it
this day.
any wonder that she's also in Chicago?
That's right.
Wonder where
Look
the
at
first
that.
concert was there.
All right, so here's the scoreboard. Here's the Major League Baseball scoreboard for August 21st, 1924.
Okay.
I already see the Brooklyn logo.
Unfortunately, Nick, your Cleveland Indians lost to the Boston Red Sox in 10 innings, 2-1.
Some things don't change.
Wasn't a lot of runs scored on this day in 1924. Dead ball era.
Wasn't like extras last night against the Yankees. Boom!
The Brooklyn Robins took down the Chicago Cubs 2-0.
Yeah, they were solid.
Cubs
They had a
cursed
staff.
them.
Cubs still can't score runs.
The St. Louis Browns beat the Philadelphia A's 11-2. Drubbing.
Yeah.
And then they played again, and the A's won 5-4. The Philadelphia.
Well, that was the
A's.
corked bat era too, I believe.
The Boston Braves beat the Pittsburgh Pirates
yeah.
7-6, and then the Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Boston Braves 5-0. A lot of double headers.
Pirates and Braves have a lot of history together.
Yeah, the Pirates were just, I mean, they were on the cusp, though, of getting Paul Skeens. So.
And
More than Sid Breen.
the Washington, now is this true? They were the Washington Nationals
The originals.
in
Yeah, way back when.
1924, and they beat the Chicago White Sox. Wow.
And two.
Some things don't change.
The Chicago White Sox actually didn't end up being that bad that year.
Oh, okay.
On Sister Jean's birth, like when she was actually introduced to the world,
Yes.
the White Sox,
The White
on
Sox
all
lost.
days lost.
The White Sox
Oh my
lost.
God, just a few years removed from the shoeless Joe Jackson scandal.
Yeah, that's true.
They were putting things back.
They were trying to
together.
recover. They had a scholarship.
Can I get like a leaderboard? 1924 baseball leaderboard.
I thought you were going to get a leaderboard of like what was going on in golf.
Notable birthdays in the year 1924. George H.W. Bush.
Nice.
Knew him.
He's been dead for a few years.
Yeah.
Quite some time. In Omaha, Nebraska, Marlon Brando was born.
Oh, hey. Oh.
He's been dead for
right.
20 years.
Yeah.
Creighton had football in those days.
Yeah, I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Major League batting leaders for 1924. A lot of Rogers Hornsby here.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember what he said to Jimmy Dugan when his parents came.
He led the league in WAR. He beat out Babe Ruth by more than a half a win. Nice job.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rogers Hornsby hit 424 in 1924. 424.
Really? Wow.
Bobby Witt Jr.'s chasing him down this year.
George Brett had nothing on him.
Babe Ruth hit, which I'm assume was a record at the time, 46 home runs.
Yeah.
In 1924.
Powered by beer.
Powered by lots of things. Yes, not
All
You know.
wholesome.
Yeah, Gatorade.
Legal.
The Gatorade.
Hey, this
for
was
sure.
back in the day in the golf world of Bobby Jones, who we still celebrate to this very day, who's unfortunately no longer with us. But Bobby Jones made his first appearance at the 1920 U.S. Open.
Not NBA champion from 1983, Bobby Jones.
No.
Philadelphia 76ers. Okay.
I bet the pitching was probably pretty good in 1924.
Oh yeah, spitball, throwing a spitter. A lot
1924
of doctrine of that thing.
college football season was the year
I
of the,
Nebraska did okay that year, right?
I'll bet. It was the year of the Four Horsemen at Notre Dame, coached by Newt Rockne.
Yeah.
They won the
Metallica song?
Rose Bowl. They won 27-10.
Yes, kind of. This was pre-Bill Jennings, so yes, Nebraska was in a better shape.
Of course, the Penn Quakers were retroactively awarded a national championship.
In 1924,
Penn had a program back then.
Nebraska was in the Missouri Valley.
Yeah.
They went 5-3 that year. Not,
Okay,
not
all
a
right.
great year.
Improvement,
Well,
though.
So that's the equivalent of a 7-5 season, where 2 wins above 500 there.
They did lose to those very Four Horsemen. They got drubbed,
Did they play-
34-6.
did they
Wonder
play
what the
Penn?
headlines were like in the paper.
They didn't
Who?
play Penn that year, though.
No, but they did play Colgate.
Oh, jeez.
Took them
Toothpaste.
Yeah,
down. Yeah, took them down pretty good.
That's a good W.
Take that with the gingivitis.
Washington was also in the Missouri Valley Conference that year.
Oh,
Huskies?
Washington
league.
University.
Washington University.
Look at the Big Ten.
It's a good league. It's a good league.
The Pikers.
North Dakota State
In
wasn't.
St. Louis.
The
Okay.
Pikers. What were college football conferences called in 1920? I feel like there's probably some really
think
good
there was the
names.
Big
Power
Six.
Five?
Yeah, we've got the North Central Conference,
Oh!
Pacific Coast Conference,
Okay.
Rocky Mountain
There
Conference,
was the border conference.
Southern Conference.
Wow.
Wow, that's a lot of teams in the Southern Conference.
What a year it was for Dazzy Vance. Dazzy Vance, who died in 1961,
Oh.
ended up leading the league in strikeouts by more than 100.
Whoa.
More than 100 more strikeouts than Walter Johnson.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, Dazzy Vance was unreal. Born in Orion, Iowa, by the way.
Um,
Next door.
Not to ping pong here, but for everyone who says that these college football conferences are too big, they just can't possibly
Yeah,
sustain themselves. In 1924, the Southern Conference had 22 teams in it.
Holy smokes.
So we're going back to the future.
That's right.
And
Coming full circle.
So when did Nebraska get good at football? 28. So they had a pretty
When
good
did
year.
Devaney take over?
Well, that was until the 60s.
Yeah, so we got ways.
There's some amazing things that happened in
They
the
had some-
NFL,
They
too.
had some pretty good. Didn't they have some pretty good like rivalry games with Notre Dame back in the 20s? And the Dana X Bible took over. So this 31.
Former Texas coach.
I mean, Sister Jean was like listening to the 1931 Huskers go 8-2 on the radio, probably.
I'm going to ask a question here.
Yeah. Please.
Why are we digging around in the year 1924 when Sister Jean turned 105?
Oh, I'm
today?
looking at 1920. I don't know what you guys are.
When she started kindergarten.
I did 100. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm looking at 1920.
Oh, sorry. I'm an idiot.
I can give you some good NFL tidbits.
Yeah.
The Akron Pros went 8-0 that year.
Ooh, they were tough. They were
My
wagon.
Chicago Staleys went 10-1.
Wait, they were
Yes.
named after Deuce?
So she was born in 1919.
Yeah.
Is that the math on that? Okay, I'm doing this all wrong. I apologize.
But when she went to kindergarten, those were the baseball topics they were talking about.
How amazing were these names, by the way, in professional football? The Staleys, the All-Americans, the Cardinals, the Independents, the Triangles, the Jeffersons, the Bulldogs, Heralds, Cleveland Tigers, Chicago Tigers, Hammond Pros, Panhandles, and the Flyers.
the Flyers.
Bowling Green became an independent in 1919. So did the Nebraska Cornhuskers, leaving the Missouri Valley Conference in 1918.
Yeah, the
Hey.
first year.
But we know they came back in 1924.
Yeah,
they
it's
were-
true.
they were- they
So
were
we've already
independent.
done
They were
that
like
exercise.
BYU. They tried it. It didn't work.
We wanted to do that 4-year sample size.
They
right
were
there.
an independent in 1919. When they were almost an independent in 2019 as well. They went 3-3-2
Ooh,
that year. Their first 5 games went like this: loss, tie, loss, tie, loss, and then they won their final 3.
really rebounded.
Damn.
Yeah.
Who was hosting overreaction back then? Damn.
Uh,
3 tie, 2
Harvard
ties?
defeated Oregon in the Rose Bowl 7-6.
Take that, Dan
Oh.
Manning.
Okay.
Jeez. Okay, yeah, I apologize. I wasn't able to do math. 100, 105. It's all this.
None
He's
of us
got
can do
baby
that.
brain.
1919.
You know, the leading NFL touchdown getter who had the most touchdowns in 1920 was
Red Grange?
Sid Nichols.
Oh, my next guess.
Sid Nichols.
Sid Nichols, guess how much he had? How many he had?
8.
2.
1.
Wait, what?
He had 1.
One
And
touchdown.
he was the leader?
He was the leader. Yeah.
Among many others, right?
Yes, there's a lot of notables that also had 1, but Sid Nichols was the.
He gets the
I don't know what the tiebreaker was. Maybe his was more. By the way, he was from Creston, Iowa.
Oh!
Sid Nichols.
I went to college there for a moment
How
in
about
time.
that?
The 1919 Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Association had 24 teams in it,
The SEAC.
including Transylvania.
Nice.
They were the pioneers.
I bet
Yes,
they
that was
were.
okay.
Really
so
a
that
missed
was the
opportunity.
Pioneers.
Really missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Create
Their
the
rivals
video game.
were Georgetown in Kentucky, not that Georgetown,
Oh,
and Kentucky.
Georgetown.
That makes no sense.
Kentucky.
Hmm.
So Babe Ruth, the year before,
In 1919, what were Babe Ruth's stats?
so Babe Ruth slashed 322, 456. Let's see, 1114. That's pretty good OPS. He led the league in home runs several times in his career, but in 1919, he led the league with just 29 home runs. The year before, he led the league in home runs, 1918, with 11.
Mm.
He hit 11.
that's why they traded him.
11 home runs. And yes, this would have been 1919. Okay, that's awesome. Sister Jean was born when Babe Ruth was a Red Sox.
Yeah.
And that is the stat of the day. The
Babe,
last
Incredible.
living person that remembers Babe
Incredible.
Ruth with the Red Sox.
Babe Ruth was still several months away from being sold to the New York Yankees. No, Nanette.
The actor?
Is there a Babe Ruth transaction log on here? I wonder when that trade
Historical notes that were close to this date.
She should have been
In
in the 30 for 30
1919?
for the Red Sox.
Peterson and Paul H. Davis crashed on the Mexican side of the border while on border patrol around Big Bend, Texas. They were later
Yeah.
captured by bandits for ransom.
I bet there's a lot of things in there about how the countries that we have just didn't exist or weren't discovered yet.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I have stumbled upon the 1919 Nebraska Intercollegiate Conference football standings.
Oh, yeah?
That should be good.
York won the conference that year at 6-0.
York
Congratulations.
Oh, gosh dang
Shout
it.
out York.
Nebraska
Yeah.
Wesleyan finished second, 6-1 in the conference.
That was probably back when they were the Plainsmen.
7-2 overall.
Plains, persons now.
Peru, Peru Normal after that, followed by Hastings,
Peru normal.
Kotner.
Peru and Normal, Illinois combined. They consolidated.
They co-opted.
This was the normal school.
Midland, Doane, Kearney Normal,
Oh!
and Nebraska Central 0-4.
If
that
we
year.
weren't on this date in 2024 able to combine, what'd you say, Midland, Doane, and who?
Kearney.
Midland, Doane, and Kearney, which
Powerhouse.
would have eventually become
That's cheating.
Kearney State.
Mhm.
If we could combine all three of those schools, what kind of a team would they have in
That's a
college
super
football?
team.
My God.
Yeah, that's a D1 caliber.
Hell yeah,
team,
it is.
Maybe.
Sheesh.
I don't know. Maybe not.
I'd like to think they could recruit. They got a lot of resources behind them.
3 schools.
The
Who's-
total leader in yards offense was a man at Notre Dame by the name of George Gipp.
Oh, the Gipper!
Gipper. The
Oh.
Good one for the
Tell
Gipper.
that to George Zip. Not to be confused in airplane.
So Calvin writes in on YouTube.
Wow,
He says,
great shout, Calvin. Thank you.
if it was called normal, a normal school was what a teacher college was called back in the day, if I remember correctly.
We're going to say yes, Calvin.
I'm
not
say
arguing.
That sounds. He sounds confident in
Oh,
that
but-
assertion. Yeah.
We couldn't even do the math right on
Nope.
what year we were supposed to look up.
He
Yeah.
said she doesn't look a day over 100.
Joel writes in on Twitter. So 1919 was the 2018 of Husker football in the 20th century.
Sounds like
And they're really, really close. They were
Yeah.
building. They
were.
They were building for something
Yeah.
big.
No, I like that we missed it and went to 2000.
Yeah, that's my bad.
No, I like that we did that because then we got a little sample size of where things were and then how they progressed in an additional 4 years. So
Yeah.
Nebraska, no All-Americans.
When
that
did
year.
Jumbo Steam retire?
Jumbo Steam.
Yeah, so Jumbo Steam.
not Jumbo Elliott. Jumbo Steam.
Jumbo Steam had it rolling in the like from 1911 to 1915.
Yeah.
Sounds like
They
O-line
went
coach.
5-1-2, 7-1, 8-0, 7-0-1, and 8-0 in
Jeez.
1915.
Talk about finishing strong.
So why don't we claim a national championship for that year? By the way,
They should.
I'm
That's
sure
what they do at
Minnesota
A&M.
did.
and then he left for greener pastures at Indiana.
Oh, okay. That makes
Now,
sense.
you want to talk about what overreaction would have had to say.
Yeah.
Nebraska loses coach to
We can't even keep our
Indiana.
coaches. They're going to Bloomington.
Bills on the Telegraph.
The hell?
They probably made him the athletic director in the. Actually, he probably was the athletic director at Nebraska, to be honest with you. Jumbo Steam, and then Edward Stewart for 2 years. William
The Ed
Klein,
Stewart?
Not the
Yeah,
Ed Stewart.
Oh, wow.
William Klein was 1 year and done in 1918, and then Henry Schulte, Fred Dawson, Ernest Berg, and then Dane X Bible took over, and then we were cooking again.
Yeah. Just it's all about just finding the right
The
combination.
right fit.
That fit is always out there. You just sometimes you swing and miss a few times.
I always find it interesting that Nebraska at one moment had a football coach named Adolf.
Yeah.
They did.
So did Kentucky.
Yeah,
basketball.
Kentucky, Adolph Rupp.
Mhm.
Shared some
Yeah.
similar. What?
What is because from everything I've heard, Sister Jean is a very very sharp individual for her age.
Spry, the word comes up quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Sharper
So
than some
we're-
people who've run the Bears over the years.
Well, where we say 105 years young today. What do you think the weirdest thing that Sister Jean has experienced in the last several decades?
It's probably happened in the last year.
Yeah, do you think that she's just like, you
Maybe
know what?
COVID.
Oh yeah, okay.
Conference realignment.
Well,
Though she
wait.
saw the
Well,
first
no,
one.
when
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the Spanish flu?
Yeah, didn't she was right. She would have gone through now.
I think at 18. Maybe.
2 pandemics. Oh, did it just
Spanish flu 1918 to 1920.
Oh, then it counts. She was alive for the Spanish flu.
So
Yeah, she was born into it.
now I'm thinking, what was Sister Jean doing when she was my age? And that would have been about
Hosting on 670 The Score. I think.
1950.
Oh, and 50s. Okay.
1950, right? Wait,
Yeah.
how
We got
old am I?
televisions then.
Oh, I'm 32. So 1951.
51.
All right.
Someone double check his math.
Right, 1919 to 1951. That's 32
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
Fingers, yes.
Bill Glassford had Nebraska. Ooh.
Oh, we're creeping towards the Bill Jennings era.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
a decade away.
We're just a few years away from Bill Jennings.
Yeah.
So Bill Glassford Nebraska was preseason ranked number 12. They had high expectations. And then they fell flat on their ass, went 1-8-1
Oh my God.
So
that
there's
year.
Precedence.
What the hell?
I can't believe that. So that's what she was experiencing at my age. I'm not young.
Do you think she was pretty upset about that?
Well, I don't think she was a Nebraska
She
football
might have been.
fan. I'm sure.
Well, not with that record.
No.
I'm sure she was just a Notre Dame.
Although she could have
Sure.
cleaned up on FanDuel with that because they're 1-8-1. You know they're probably.
Oh
not gonna
yeah, if she
cover
was
most
if she was
of those.
pounding the
Yeah.
under of,
Easy
that,
money.
of the win total for Nebraska that year too.
October 16th, 1919. A different person named Adolf gave his first speech in Germany.
Oh no.
Dear God.
Oh, boy.
That's probably the weirdest thing she's been
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
World War
But see,
II?
she was so young, she probably couldn't comprehend it.
World War II.
Man, she has been through.
the
She
speech.
has
Oh, I was gonna
seen
say.
so many things.
The chat has a few suggestions.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Calvin, who says, you think COVID is weirder than the U.S.? I'm going to rephrase Calvin's quote here. Dropping the bomb on Japan.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll clean that up. Andy suggests that maybe Obama being president is something Sister Jean did not have on her bingo card.
Probably not.
Yeah, sure.
Probably not.
Especially
Being
someone
born
who
in
is
1919.
yeah, that's true. She
was
has
a
Oh,
seen
89
some
then.
things.
the Spanish flu was not labeled a pandemic until November 30th, 1919. So Sister
So she
Jean,
would've-
older.
Yeah, she would have seen that. So she has now been through 2 pandemics. Wow.
Andrew wonders if
Wonder
Sister
how one
Jean,
compared to the other.
Did Sister Jean live through polio?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
would have had to.
Iron lung and everything. not
Babe
just a
Ruth
Radiohead
was
song.
traded to the Yankees on December 26th, 1919.
Yeah, so she was
December
old enough to
26th.
actually be able to process that and have a reaction.
To fund a Broadway
A Broadway musical, yeah.
No, Nanette.
Yep.
Not even a good
No.
Broadway musical.
And then
It wasn't
wonder why
Rochelle,
they didn't win a
Rochelle.
World Series to
A girl's exotic journey from Milan to Minsk.
I hear it's pretty hot.
You got to see Rochelle.
Wow.
This is a fun game.
He's had 6
Liberace
cup of
was born
coffee.
in 1919.
What?
Liberace and Sister Jean.
Wow.
Handshake me.
Oh my gosh.
When the young Tom Osborne took over the Nebraska Cornhuskers football program, Sister Jean was turning 52.
Dang. Wow. That is just
That's amazing.
Life comes at you.
That is amazing.
Life really does.
And she had high
Or no,
hopes. on him.
54. I think 50.
Damn.
You're so
She
bad.
was Brian Urlacher years old. Oh my god! This is- I love this because the only thing I could ever contribute to the conversation before is that Sister Jean is older than Prohibition, which I thought was kind of significant. But
Which
now we
is
got
still
lot
a
of
great
things. It is.
contribution.
It really is.
Can we I don't know, we need to get more takes out of her before she goes.
Mhm.
I know.
Like,
I want to know what she thinks about stuff.
experienced so much. She saw
Weekly segment?
She saw the bad and then the rise and the fall of Nebraska football. She's seen the whole thing.
Everything.
She's seen
It's
its
like
birth.
I just want to know what any do you have any thoughts at all?
Were they the Cornhuskers yet when she was born? That's actually what I want.
What does she think about the
Oh.
sellout streak? There's a lot of things I'd love to
sellout
Yeah.
First one made.
Well, it's
Well-
kind of a sham.
Um,
You know, they don't shell out every game.
It's a sin to
I see
lie.
a lot of empty seats over there by the student section.
Yeah, Nebraska had turned to the Cornhuskers before she was
Okay.
born.
I
it
thought
appears.
so,
Okay.
but I didn't want to assume.
Oh yeah, if you would have saw the rebranding,
She would have known bug eaters.
well, you know
They're
that
sweet.
Sister Jean is a basketball
that's true.
fan.
Yeah, she hasn't seen much there.
1919 Nebraska basketball went 22-2
Damn.
Oh, they couldn't miss the peach bucket.
under Paul Schisler.
Yeah,
Don't say that
Paul
fast.
Schisler.
Yeah, just
One
be
of
careful.
one of 2 seasons he coached at Nebraska. He
Hmm.
went 15-3 in his second season.
Travis says she witnessed the 2 worst Husker coaches in school history: Bill Jennings and Scott Frost.
Not a lot of people can say that.
That is true.
It's very true.
I mean,
That is true.
a lot more than like she's been around for probably she's been around for everyone. So,
Yeah.
I mean, really, you can count all that.
Oh, look
She's-
at that. Nebraska basketball had a basketball coach named Adolf.
Of course they did.
Must have been
I
like
think it
high
was
on the
the same
baby
guy.
names back
I think
then.
it was the same guy, Adolf Lewandowski.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same guy. So they would usually
Oh,
have him
okay.
coach both football and basketball,
Which is
Oh,
awesome.
okay.
He's
Yeah,
probably the athletic director as well.
and teach classes.
What is this, a Class C high school?
And that's why they would go
Budget
to
cuts.
That's why they would go to other schools like that. They would be like, "Yeah, we could give you $5 more, and then you could
Which
be
was a
one
lot
less
back then.
sport coach."
Starting to worry that name like back then was like how it's like Cameron now. or
No, it was in the
Braden.
baby book. It was like Braden.
Yeah, exactly.
They
It's
would
like
take,
Chase.
the popular name now.
yeah, they'd be like, "Yeah, just
Another Adolf.
teaching is where the money is, not football coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teaching is where the money
You'd get maybe a nickel
At the normal colleges.
at the normal colleges."
at normal. Yeah, that's true.
Peru Normal became Peru State. Were they still playing in the Oak Bowl back when they were Peru Normal?
I'm sure they were.
The Oaks were just being planted.
That's right.
You took out my pine.
So amazing.
There's got to be a story. There's got to be a story there somehow.
Most amazing thing ever.
You mutating son of...
It is pretty cool. It is.
So-
The Oak Bowl is pretty cool.
You know how
It's in this little hole.
we think of certain jobs like, oh, they made a lot of money back then. Was it like, damn, you're a teacher? They must be rich.
Yeah,
You got all the
yeah.
endorsements.
Yeah. Oh my god.
They would move around.
Wow. Have things changed?
Hot Stove League was ripe every summer.
Jeez.
Who changed that? Like, what? When did we just all agree that football coaching is like a big, it's something that it deserves more money?
It's very
When did
important.
ESPN
Yeah,
debut?
exactly. When did TV get involved?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that was probably.
When was the
Dumont
first
network?
When was the first score graphic ever created?
What was Osborne like? What was Osborne making when he took the job? Because
That's a great question.
That's a pretty.
That is a really good question.
like it's an established program by
what
then.
did Bob? What was Bob Devaney's ending salary? Man,
Teacher of the year, Adolf Lewandowski, smokes Lucky Strikes, and you should too.
I was waiting. I didn't want to say it, but I knew you.
I didn't want to force it out of you. I figured with all of this blast from the past talk that it said eventually it would come out.
That's something.
That was great.
This day's a W.
Smokes
Big fat W.
Smokes Lucky Strikes, and you should.
So
how about a JR of Ovaltine?
Nebraska was able to take
Some Geritol.
Bob Devaney from Wyoming in February of 1962
Got bumped to 30 grand.
This new interstate connected.
Try again, Nick. So Devaney was released from his contract by the
18,000.
university's board of trustees in February 1962.
Buyout was $7.
And was hired at the University of Nebraska Lincoln at an annual salary of $17,000.
Oh, I was just gonna say 17.5.
My guy's getting himself a fur coat.
It's like his first radio job.
$17,000 a year.
And there's
Thanks,
the Devaney
Biden.
showing up at the Orpheum in a brand new mink,
Yeah, he was the richest guy in
paid
town.
for with your tax dollars.
Hopefully
So
purchased
do we know what
locally.
T.O. got? What T.O. coming at?
Let's see.
62. I'm gonna guess 38,924. Bob.
It's definitely gonna be under 40.
$1.
40. It's gonna be under 40. I'll say 33,000.
Let's see if it's on the Wikipedia page.
33,000.
I hope you go over. Wait, that would mean I go over.
Tom Osborne
30
saw
sounds right.
$1.
Osborne was played.
He's gonna win.
Oh, he was paid. Oh, this is when he was the athletic director.
Oh, we don't need to know that.
Paid well.
Yeah.
Gosh,
That's when there was TV money.
I bet you can go back and probably find all the contracts deep in some sort of hole.
Husker Max.
Yeah, if Husker Max has it, bravo. They should, if anybody's going to have it.
This could be a good simple question for tomorrow.
Who's
Yeah.
the first college coach to make $1 million? And when would that have been?
Lou Holtz. I don't know.
You guys could have dueling Holtzes. I'll say Spurrier.
I don't know.
Spurrier 1991. Just a guess.
Yeah, I could see that being accurate.
Bobby Bowden in 1995
Bowden,
was
yeah.
making $975,000.
Then it wasn't Spurrier.
Okay.
Wasn't
yes,
Bob Bobby would have been a guess.
Bowden was hired when he was hired in the 70s,
Yeah.
I guess. 37.5. when he was hired.
Wow.
All right.
It appears as though there was a race between Florida and Florida State, Steve Spurrier and Bobby Bowden, to get to $1 million first,
Okay.
in
Classic.
which Bobby Bowden won.
Bobby Bowden.
All right, Bobby.
Well, dadgum.
Good job, Bobby.
Well, dadgum, indeed. Wow. Andrew writes in, you guys should do a Today in Things Sister Jean Has Lived to See segment.
I mean,
Sponsored by the
it's-
Archdiocese of Omaha.
just
It spans.
Here's the segment. Everything you've ever heard of.
she has outlived it.
But you highlight one thing a day.
Man.
We
There's
send it
some
off to Cutler to
stuff.
voice it. A moon
Gosh.
landing.
Travis, what was the average price of a bottle of scotch when Devaney got hired?
Oh,
Josh, you want to check that out?
could have been an endorsement. right there.
Average price of a bottle of scotch in 1962.
Scotch price,
Yeah.
1919.
No, 1962.
1962. $1.50.
This pulls up scotches
$3?
from 1962.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, so you don't want that. Those are expensive.
Right.
Those are very
All right,
expensive.
that's breathing. But 1960 scotch, it's going to fetch a pretty good price right now.
Now this is very rough here.
Okay.
Just
What was
Are we
gas?
close? $1.50?
$10.
$10. Oh, man, that's got a
Hell of a
high
deal.
end. That's top shelf stuff right
Gas, I'm going to guess 24 cents.
When did people start driving cars? When
there. Oh, that's a good question.
when did cars happen?
Boy.
When was the
Now I got to go back to my
Model T come out?
Yeah, when-
1912.
I thought you were going to bust out with the mink. It's a new mink. and
we
it's Model T.
need an 8th grade social studies student to help us out.
Or teacher at this point.
How much
1800s
was gas?
Oh, really?
for the car.
For the car? Okay.
How much was gas in 1919?
4 cents.
1919, the national average price of gas was 25 cents a gallon.
Oh, my gosh.
Now the
Getting
Model,
gouged at the
Model
at the
T
gas.
came out in the mid 20s.
Model T was 1920. Okay.
Okay. All right. So you didn't really need gas.
Yeah.
Just people are just walking and riding bikes.
Those
There were
things-
no cars when Sister
Those
Jean
things were
was
all
born.
drive.
Okay, that's a pretty good one right
They
there.
had been brought home in a Conestoga wagon.
I wonder when she got her first car.
What were her thoughts on the Oregon Trail?
Well, when did she
The game and the
become
real
a nun?
trail.
right.
Yeah,
Because it's very possible Sister Jean has never owned a car.
That's true.
She has a
She
driver
was a
now.
nun in Chicago.
Yeah,
there
that-
probably
I-
wasn't a lot of use for a car.
Yeah, she's taking the L.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good.
And the
good
fugitive
question.
told us
Has
Chicago has
Sister
an L,
Jean ever
St. Louis,
owned a
Milwaukee.
car? Yeah.
Next stop, Balboa Station.
Do you think she's been in Make of Us?
After graduating after graduating from high school in 1937, she entered the Sisters of Charity of the Blessed Virgin Mary Convent in Iowa.
Iowa?
after high
Iowa
school.
again.
What part of Iowa? Man, Iowa was like thriving back then.
They're more than Caitlin Clark.
This is a short Wikipedia page.
A lot of
She,
pro
she
players.
first considered becoming a nun when she was in 3rd grade.
Okay.
Damn.
She's like,
It was a
this-
lucrative career in those days, though.
She already had her life mapped out there.
Yeah,
Good for her.
okay.
Kids were a lot more self-aware those days.
I think.
Realistic.
Anyway, happy birthday.
Bit of an
Yeah.
upset here, everybody. She was active in the civil rights movement in the 60s.
Really?
It wasn't.
She was active.
What, did you think she was racist?
No.
Not what I said.
Bit of
Did you
an
ever
upset.
pegged there,
Bit-
Josh?
Bit of an
Bit
upset.
of an upset, huh? Wow.
All right. Happy birthday, Sister Jade. That's Crossover, powered by Every Level Concrete Repair in Omaha at everylevelconcrete.com. We'll start things off next.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
Hey, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. Hello, everybody. It's a good crossover. We're, if you come up with anything that happened in the last 105 years, please send it our way. Sister Jean saw it, and we'll try and place Sister Jean. You know, was she 54? Was she 8? You know, so who knows?
We will honor the life of Sister Jean
she's
today.
Lived and she's seen the rise and the fall and the rise and then the fall again of Nebraska football, and hopefully the rise again.
That's right.
Look at that. A real roller coaster over these 105 for Sister Jean. But welcome to a Wednesday show. Wednesday. This is my first tweet bag in a couple weeks. I've been waiting to get some tweet bag questions from you guys.
Hell yeah.
You want to know what it's like to be a real dad? Ask me the question.
What is that?
I know.
What are you implying?
I know how to be a dad.
Oh.
I've experienced that.
Father of the Year?
Father of the Year. I've already been nominated a couple times, I think.
Okay.
People are saying that I have a very cute baby.
Oh, no, that's without question.
Also, as of 2 minutes ago, we have an announcement. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Did it happen, Connor?
It did. It did happen.
Oh, put the white smoke out.
Yeah, welcome to the show and welcome to the Dylan Raiola era, ladies and gentlemen. Officially. Official.
And why is that, Connor?
Because
I spit hot fire.
He spits hot fire at Husker football. As of 2 minutes ago, Dylan Raiola will start at quarterback. That's good for the Huskers versus UTEP. Hashtag GBRX. Hashtag what's capital NE lowercase XT exclamation point.
I don't love that hashtag.
I don't either.
Not catchy.
It doesn't quite catch on. There you go. Big dial-on overreaction. He's your cue.
How is this going to help recruiting?
This is big news. I didn't know this. I had no idea. I've been operating all summer thinking, gosh, this must be quite the battle for them to not announce this.
Open competition.
All the way until August 21st. So here you go. Here he is. Dylan Raiola era starts right now. So now, at least he has 10 days to prepare his mind and brain to start against UTEP. And then I would say, I'm glad that they put out there and they said, look, he's just going to start against UTEP.
Then we'll see.
That indicates that there will be an evaluation afterwards, and then we'll see what happens for Colorado. Maybe it'll be Daniel Kalen.
Well, you want him to think that he's fighting for his job each and every week so that he performs at his best.
I will say this on the quarterback thing. I am curious when Nebraska releases their depth chart on Monday, the day of the first Monday press conference, which you'll be able to hear right here on 1620 The Zone on the Connor Happer Show. That's right. It's always fun for us. Prior to their next Saturday game against UTEP. I'm just curious how that quarterback depth chart will look. We know it will say Dylan Raiola 1. What will 2 look like? Will it be Heinrich Harburg, number 2? Flat out. Will it be Heinrich Harburg or Daniel Kalen, number 2? Will it be Daniel Kalen? Flat out number 2. I'm curious. I don't know how that's going to look, but we'll find out on Monday. But that is maybe the only intrigue that we have left. Indeed, we have news.
You see the image that the Nebraska football program has used.
Yeah, does he look like Patrick Mahomes?
A little bit, but also he looks like Patrick Mahomes because he's wearing the number 15.
Yeah.
The only number he will wear at the University of Nebraska.
Well, what if he gets a single-digit number?
Stop with the madness.
Hey, no, Josh. What if he gets a single-digit number?
He will decline it for the brand.
No. You can't do that. If you were awarded the prestigious honor of being a single-digit number guy, you must take it. I could see Dylon rocking number 1 next year. And then he Sharpies 5 next to it so he can continue to look like Patrick Mahomes. I can see that. I mean, that might happen at some point. You gotta if you get voted by your teammates as a single digit number guy, you gotta take it. I don't care. I don't care how Patrick Mahomes you want to be.
I believe at the opening of camp when Matt Rule told everyone, okay, here's what you're playing for in camp. Dylan stood up and said, "Do not vote for me. I choose not to run."
That's how committed he is to this bit.
He's pulling a Biden. I don't want it. Don't give it to me. I won't take it.
A couple reactions here on the YouTube and various other ways to watch and listen to our show. But let's go to the YouTube. Travis says, I am shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Charles says, plot twist, it'll be Daniel Kalen or Heinrich Harburg. It might be. It just might be.
That or gives you so much cover.
I think young Danny's making a bit of a run here in the fall. He's got the it factor.
I've heard.
He's singing songs. He's doing the whole thing. Indeed. So it begins. The Dylan Raiola era is here. Not surprised at all in the way that they have decided to put this. It's quiet, right? It's not like there was a video. It was just like, hey, we get some news to report to you guys. Dylan Raiola seems to have won the job, and he's gonna, be the starting quarterback.
I do like that they announced it and not like
Me too.
like a Pete tweet or something.
Or there was a weird question and it had to be oddly worded at the press conference on Monday or something like that. Yeah. Zach has a prediction for Dylan Raiola's numbers throughout his career.
Hi, Zach.
He will be number 1 in 2025. So he's number 15 this year. He'll be number 1 in 2025. He is beaten out Malachi Coleman for the number 15. Malachi Coleman, by the way, we got clarity on that yesterday. Malachi Coleman, number 11 now.
11.
Yes. He was seen catching a pass. And Zach also says that he will be number 5 in 2026. I don't know why. I don't know why that would happen.
And then you got the 1 and the 5, 15.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Or maybe after this season, they make number 15. They just say that number 15 is a single digit number. And they're like, it's the honorary single digit number.
Well, that's what Charles says here in the YouTube chat. Governor Pillen will declare 15 a single digit number by formal state proclamation.
I henceforth announce. Yeah. There will be a proclamation, certainly. Number 15 is your QB1, ladies and gentlemen. Start the breaking news sounder, somebody said. It's Jeff Sims!
No.
By God, that's Jeff Sims music! No, it's not Jeff Sims. He was a single-digit number guy once.
People forget.
People indeed do forget. I don't know, Josh. This is. I don't have anything else really to say about this. And now, so this is the point that we're going to take a break, and then we're going to do the rest of the show, and we'll just go on about our lives because we already knew that this was going to happen and this was going to be the case. And then people will check in and invariably throughout the show, and they'll say, "Did you guys see the news? Why aren't you talking?
Why aren't you talking
It's
about?"
Like I am not physically capable of spending 4 hours talking about how the quarterback who's obviously the best is going to be the best quarterback on the roster. I'm not capable of. Apparently, I don't have any more thoughts on this. I'm not capable of talking about it for 3 minutes. So way to go, Matt Rule. You really sucked all the air out of this one. It'll be fun to watch him play next Saturday.
Yeah, it really will.
And now, I guess I have one. I guess I have a thought. Will they? How much will be piled on now that you have announced to the team and you have assumingly had conversations with each of the quarterbacks in the room, like, here's our plan, here's what we're going to do going forward. How much more will we learn about the position in the next 10 days? How much more will we learn about Dylan Raiola in his offseason and what he has done to take command and control of this team over the last several months? How much more will we learn about Heinrich Harburg's new groove? Heinrich Harburg's there's a graphic for you, Josh. Heinrich Harburg's new groove, his new role. What will it be? Will it be, I'm just going to stay in the quarterback room and hang out there? Or will it be, I'm going to be in the quarterback room and I'm going to be doing some other things? You might see me wear gloves during games or something like that, you know? Be ready to carry the ball, be ready to throw it around a little bit, be ready to run it, be ready to line up at an H-back or a tight end. Well, we learn about, I think now this allows you to be more forthcoming, more truthful about how the last several months have gone. So I imagine this will allow the hype train to really be pushed forward. Yeah, it gives it some steam, gives it some gas. Here.
I'm curious if we see Dylan get is he going to be in front of a microphone in some way? I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think so.
Like a one-on-one, like a newspaper article, like just.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, something that sort of protects him. He's not taking live bullets, even though he's been in front of the media before.
He has
at the center.
Keep in mind, like he's still a freshman. Like they're not gonna,
they're not putting him on McAfee or anything like that.
He's not going to. I mean, like he is the face of the program, and he will become the face of the program. But I don't think that transition happens in the snap of a finger. But I do think we start to kind of build to that, starting right now, starting 12 minutes ago. Josh, mark this down. 10:38 on a Wednesday morning. That's when the Dylan, and then we can count like PD and AD.
Pre-Dylan.
BD and AD.
After Dylan.
Yeah, before Dylan, after Dylan. Because now starts your new life, ladies and gentlemen. You got a quarterback. You got a 5-star quarterback. And he looks like Patrick Mahomes. Did you see the Iowa fans yesterday who were making fun of him because he was fat? Classic Iowa fan. Or maybe it was a Minnesota fan, whatever it was. I saw that the Iowa and Minnesota fan accounts are very much on the path of like, this guy's going to suck. This is just another guy that you have hyped up beyond recognition, and he is just like any other guy that Nebraska's had at quarterback. They're very much on that right now.
Very odd that fans of Iowa would call someone fat. That'd be like Wisconsin fans calling someone fat.
Well, I think it was the Minnesota account yesterday.
Oh, Minnesota.
The Minnesota account yesterday was like, this guy, are you kidding me with it? Because it's a picture of it. I did notice this in the Chasing 3 thing. Somebody screenshotted it. He had a little belly hanging over.
I mean, he's kind of a thick boy.
He's a thick guy. He played catcher, right? You know how catchers look.
I do.
Right? So they took a screenshot of that and they said, like, this guy's Deacon Hill. And I said, sure. Yes, let's go with that. Let's set the bar at he's Deacon Hill and then go from there. Because I didn't know the line and the bar could physically be buried that low into the ground. And guess what? He's gonna go above that by quite a bit. So I hope they keep thinking that all the way throughout the season. I hope that when he throws his first interception, which he will, that it'll go viral and it'll be like, this, what kind of throw and read is this? This is garbage. And Nebraska fans will say, didn't you see all of his other things that he did? This is great.
I fully expect
it has begun
to see Dylan Raiola throw a behind the back pass to the tight end at some point this season and accuse said tight end of running the wrong route.
Josh, they're doing a boneyard bash or whatever it is. I don't know if they're calling it that anymore, but like the fan day, like they let the students in, right? And then they kind of practice and walk through and stuff like, I think that's Friday. So yeah, that's when the kids come out and they make the N on the field, all the new students and stuff like that.
Do they take the drug-free pledge?
No, that's the spring game.
Oh, okay.
That's the spring game. Jesse writes in.
Hi, Jesse.
What game will they break out the Heinrich package now that we know? I think we should come up with a different name for that. And
love it.
I would say, because to be clear, I do think that will be a thing this year.
The Heinrich package?
I think there will be a Heinrich package.
I do. It makes too much sense to not
Heinrich Harburg will
have
play.
it
Heinrich
in your
Harburg
bag.
will play
Yes. Mhm.
in situations likely in which Dylan Raiola is on the field this year, but more specifically, in which Dylan Raiola is not injured. Like, he doesn't have to be taken off the field for some godforsaken reason. Like, Heinrich Harburg is going to play this year for Nebraska. So what do they do? And when do they bust it out? Will be interesting. How do they want to flash that in week 1?
I wouldn't think so.
Or just hold it all for the big guns in week 2. All right, that is our breaking news announcement. So start the show today. Didn't know it was going to come at that point, but it did. Elsewhere today on the show, we'll talk to Mitch Sherman about that announcement in a little more than a half hour, 11:30. Robin Washut will join us at 1. We'll talk about that announcement at 1 o'clock with Robin Washut. Also, get your questions in for the tweet bag. 402-951-1620. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor at joshshow at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. Love to hear from you guys, and we say good morning to our YouTube streaming audience today. Corey says, let's call it the H2O package.
I like that.
Okay. Why not? It's like water, baby. It just works. That's a lineup powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Plenty to come on the show today. A lot of people saying things that Sister Jean experienced.
Yes, I've got some good YouTube chats, some good emails.
Here's Michael on the text line.
Hi, Michael.
Sister Jean would have been almost 50 years old when we faked the moon landing.
Come on.
Back after this on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. New leader in the clubhouse for what happens, or what we call it when Heinrich Harburg's on the field, because he's not going to be the starting quarterback. I know that there were some people in the Heine Hive for the last several months. They were like, trust me. I believe in this guy.
You want the experience out of the gate. No, I'll take the 5-star.
Patrick writes in the Equitable Bank inbox.
Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick, not Mahomes,
Okay.
writes in on the Equitable Bank inbox, although
Patrick.
that would be awesome. The Heinrich maneuver.
Okay, that's good. We'll allow that.
The Heinrich maneuver. I like it.
Definitely.
I'm all the way in on that.
Hopefully they don't choke. Am I right?
Also, when do you release the Heinrich maneuver? Zach emails in. Goal line versus Colorado.
I like it.
The Heinrich maneuver is jumping over the mass of humanity. Nebraska going to run Colorado so hard into the ground that Warren Sapp will be on his knees needing the oxygen mask again. I know that they're used to practicing at high elevation out there, but you don't want to be drug into these waters. Also, when will Patrick Mahomes tweet? Over or under 1 hour?
I'll take the over. I'll bet he's got practice till.
Do they
12,
practice in the
12:30.
morning? Do
I
they
don't
practice
know.
in the afternoon?
I don't know.
Whenever he gets off that practice field, or whenever he gets done with whatever he's doing right now, and he goes through all of his Royals highlights from last night because he owns the team or half owns the team or whatever, he is going to see that his young baby protege has been named the starting quarterback at Nebraska.
Tough loss last night, but I'm happy for my little cousin.
The next step here, thank you, Patrick, is for him to show up on the sideline of the game.
Oh,
what's he doing? 10 days from today? They don't have when's Kansas City's next preseason game?
Tomorrow.
Do they have one? Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
And then they play that week 1 game.
They play the week 1 Thursday, right?
Right.
Yeah, but that's not till the next week.
Right. September 5th.
Just a short PJ up the road here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe he shows up. I gotta support my
little cousin. Support my cousin. Now their bye weeks sync up.
The silence is deafening.
So
okay, that's not good.
That's not great.
No,
yeah.
we need him here.
Mm-hmm.
Need him here. All right. So Dylan Raiola is a starting quarterback. I don't really have much on it. I mean, I think, like I said, it is fair to. I think what's going to happen now over the next 10 days, as you've already seen the immense reaction to this, now it's kind of go time, right? So now you get to see how much hype Nebraska chooses to kind of put on him. There won't be any he's going to win the Heisman, he's going to throw for 5,000 yards or anything like that. But Matt Rule will obviously, he's going on the radio tonight. He'll be asked about it. Now that he doesn't have to hide behind, we still got a competition and we still got 3 guys that are going to be really, good for us. And we got 3 guys that we feel like we could play right now. Now that he doesn't have to do that whole song and dance, I think that he could say, man, the normal stuff, which is Dylan's done everything right. He works. The great thing about Dylan, the thing that makes him special is that he works so hard and he's always in the whatever, he's always in the training room and he's always in the film room and all this stuff. But okay, what else? Give me an anecdote or two. What's something that you've seen him do over the last several months, 8 months since he's been here that led you to think, yeah. Because, how coaches are. They don't, Matt Rule probably knew it in reality right away that when he committed, he was going to be Nebraska's starting quarterback this year. But how coaches do it. They're they kind of strip him down. They look at him as people. They look at him as just blank slates and players and stuff like that. And so when was the moment that Matt Rule kind of knew it? They're like, oh, yeah, not only is this guy what I thought he was, he has done everything right. And just give me some anecdotes. That's all. That's the stuff that makes people go crazy. That's the stuff that drives the hype train into oblivion. Chris in South Carolina writes in.
Hi, Chris.
Was that Patrick Mahomes talking or was it just Josh? Hard to know.
I can pull this out whenever you want.
Hard to know. All right. Like I said, welcome to the show. We'll have a few different perspectives and reactions to that. Mitch Sherman will join us at 11:30. Robin Washut at 1. The tweet bag is coming up at noon. Get your questions in for that. We've already covered the living heck out of the Sister Jean turning 105 years old today, so we won't have to spend much time on that. There's a couple predictions that I have seen floating around today that I would like to kind of bring to people's attention. We could, and then I still have some stuff that we never have gotten to for the last couple of days. Turns out I've had a lot of stuff to say since I've been back. The snap counts thing, a couple more, notes from Rule still. We could spend some time on Daniel Kalen now that we know that. I mean, I guess we don't know where Daniel Kalen's going to be on the depth chart, but we know he's not going to be first. He might be second.
Can't have two firsts.
He might be tied for second. Yes. Have you ever heard the old adage, Josh? If you have two quarterbacks, then you don't have any.
That's right. I have.
That's definitely true. In Nebraska's case last year, when you have three quarterbacks, you don't have any. That was definitely true.
Yes.
Oh, look. Yes. And if you'd like to call us, please feel free to do so. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees Source hotline. We still also have a college football playoff topic that I'd like to get to from yesterday as well. I'd like to say this going back because we were going to spend some time on the single digit numbers today. And I know we talked about who got them yesterday. 9 out of the 10 single digits awarded go to the defense. I'd like to just say this. I think it's going to be pretty badass when the defense walks out there for the first time and all of them basically are wearing single digit numbers. Don't you think that's going to be cool? And they're playing like AC/DC in the back or something, whatever comes on. Or
no, it'll be AC/DC.
It
always is in Nebraska for some reason.
Maybe it'll be Mo Bamba or something like that. But whatever it is, here comes the defense. Nebraska chooses, of course, to defer to the second half against UTEP.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes that defense. They're going to pin their ears back. And my God, that UTEP quarterback looks across the line of scrimmage and he says, "This is crazy. They're all wearing single-digit numbers. Is this some sort of is this a joke? They must have so much togetherness and unity that I'm not even prepared to play against them."
Am I playing against USA basketball?
Yeah. No, I think I might sound sarcastic because that's just my general tone, but I am dead serious. I think that will be really cool. Now there will be two starters out on the field who will not be wearing single-digit numbers.
Awkward.
A little weird. One will either be Prince Will, Uman Mielen, or MJ Sherman. And who is the other guy? All the starting defensive linemen got him. It's another it's Mekhi Bayer probably. So you're going to have all single-digit numbers and then probably two guys in the 40s that are out there. It's going to be cool. It's going to be looking really cool. Let's take a phone call here on the 42 Degrees Source hotline. It's Random Mike. Mike, good to hear from you. How are you?
I missed you, man.
Missed you, Mike. I received a text when you called last week, I think, and you mentioned Cam Kojal. That seems on brand.
They call it puppy love. They'll never understand.
What's going on?
You're a changed man. This changes everything.
It does. It really does. That's definitely true.
Everything in the world is different. And you sound like, it's great to hear you. Some clown called and said, "Connor, who?"
Did they tell me about this?
Oh, yeah. I think we're talking to.
Oh, it was you? Wow.
That is my point. Some guy calls sometimes claiming to be me. And I have to admit, it sounds like me. And this AI crap.
Much like Josh and Patrick Mahomes, you would never know.
You never know.
Hey, about Harburg, doesn't it make sense to limit the hits? Look, my Big Ten buddy who went to Northwestern College in Iowa, he keeps making remarks about the Big Ten is going to hurt our quarterback, as physical as it is, and especially with the left tackle situation. Doesn't it make sense to limit the hits, like particularly in short yardage situations? Harburg is kind of a perfect guy, don't you think? And it does limit the hits that Dylan's going to take. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I think on top of having a good quarterback room, Nebraska has a physically built quarterback room. And
exactly.
Yeah. Raiola is a big guy. The other positive part about it is he's not going to be running very much, so they should stay pretty well protected.
But the Wildcat thing. I remember one of our excruciating losses to Minnesota. They were using 2 quarterbacks, more of a running one in the short yardage Wildcat situation. And the announcer said when that happened, and it was a super close game, he said, well, he always runs the ball. Well, guess what? He threw a touchdown pass. And with Harburg, you can do that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And of course, they can. I mean, isn't it more of a situation like with New Orleans with their quarterback that beat us when he played at BYU?
He could be Taysom Hill. Yes.
Yeah. And do you remember that BYU game? We could not stop that guy. I mean, he had a great game with his running and throwing.
So wait, okay. I maybe I'm remembering this wrong. I thought he missed that game. Like, because they started Mangum. His name was Tanner Mangum was their quarterback.
Mangum style.
Josh, do you remember?
Josh, do you remember the 2015 BYU game?
I do not. I'm sorry.
Give me a break, Josh.
No, Taysom Hill played, and he killed us. We had one good play against him. I remember this. It was Gary.
Yeah,
Taysom.
Gary. Okay, so Taysom Hill.
Nate Gary faked the blitz. This was one good play we had again. Faked the blitz and then retreated and got an interception. It was a great play by Gary. It was like the one bad play Hill made.
Taysom Hill went 21 of 34 for 268 and a touchdown and a pick. And ran for.
Well, I was right.
You were right. He ran 9 carries for 72 yards. So did he get hurt, or did they just switch off quarterbacks like you were saying?
That's a good question. He might have got hurt toward the end, and we had a chance. We should have won. I think it was Mike Riley's first game.
It was Mike Riley's first game, and it was Mangum who completed the pass for the Hail Mary.
That's literally the only thing I remember.
There you go. Yeah. Taysom got hurt. Yeah, that would explain it. But he was fantastic, and he's a tremendous athlete, which Harburg is. But I'm just thinking, limit the hit. I keep thinking of Jordy Ball getting hurt. We got to keep these people healthy.
No doubt.
Doesn't that make sense?
Oh, yes.
Early fourth quarter, Taysom Hill went down.
There you go. We figured it out.
And hey, how about the Northwestern transfer, Jalen Granstad?
Jalen Granstad.
That he's looking real good, but he wasn't mentioned at all by our head coach, who was really building up the other guys, trying to make him feel good.
Yeah, I think he's got some he's got some catching up to do before they would feel comfortable. The positive part is they don't, I think they have 3 guys before him that they feel like they could put in a game and be okay.
All right, I'm going to say at least 8 wins.
At least 8, Mike? Well, we'll see what happens a week from I mean, we're just going to eat up all the hype for the next week. You might call back a week from today and say 10.
Here's my other prediction. Your women's basketball team is going to have an awesome year if people are healthy.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty good too, Mike. I agree.
Take care, buddy.
Thank you. It's good to talk to Random Mike, as always. Mike is drinking the Kool-Aid.
I'm amazed that Tanner Mangum, just 2 months off his mission, coming in and being able to help our team win, Mendenhall said. I was just proud of the way he was able to lead our team on the big stage.
He was old.
Yeah.
He was old. I remember that being his thing. And I'm pretty sure now correct me if I'm wrong. Did I don't believe Taysom Hill ever played again that year. I believe he was injured for the year after that. So 2015 stats BYU. Yeah, no, he only threw the 34 passes that he threw in that game.
Okay.
And then came back and had a great year, obviously, in 2016. They split quarterback reps again that year, and then he went to the NFL. That's good. Hey, I don't mind that. I mean, that'd be great. I don't think Nebraska will have as heavy of usage for Heinrich Harburg, but they do love him as an athlete. But when you have, quarterbacks who do, like, you feel comfortable with them doing specific things like you would with Harburg, you're more than likely taking your starter off the field, which is something that I'm not interested in.
No,
I am. I'd like Dylon to be on the field as much as humanly possible.
But I mean, that's when we talk about buy-in, that's an important part. Like, hey, you're Heinrich Harburg, you have starting experience. I don't know how you see yourself as a football player if you're Heinrich Harburg, but A lot of people would have just said, there's no room for me. I'm going to go and get the hell out of here.
No doubt.
And go somewhere where I can be the guy or a guy.
I think the very idea, we talked about this way back in spring and really when Dylan committed, like the setup in this dream imaginary world is for Dylan Raiola to be the starter, for Daniel Kalen to progress enough to the point where they feel good about him being the true backup quarterback, and for Heinrich Harburg to be able to accomplish that role, but also Nebraska would feel, because of Kalen's progression, they feel like they can safely put Heinrich Harburg in the game and not have their quarterback depth absolutely crater if he were to get hurt because they're putting him in harm's way. I think it just, the way it feels to me right now, that has happened. That has happened.
Sure seems
I think that is the scenario that we dreamt up at the beginning, and I think that has happened.
And it's to do that, you got to have a guy at the top that, quite frankly, kind of knows what he's doing.
Indeed. And stays in the field, which you can only, I guess, hope for at this point. And you can keep him safe, of course. All right. Want to hear from you guys, 402-951-1620. Alex and Lincoln writes in.
Hi, Alex.
Aren't all of BYU's players old? Yes, that's also true. But
Generally
fresh off the
case.
Mormon mission. Fresh off the Mormon mission. And then the texter from the 402 says this. I disagree with playing Harburg and taking Dylan off the field. Have packages where both are on the field, sure, but don't take your best player off the field. We're not talking about, like I said, I'm not talking about this mega high usage rate here. Like I'm talking about a few plays a game. You know, I don't mind that. If you're taking him off the field for a few plays a game or specific situations, and not even in big situations, maybe one where, you know, like coaches, it's a feel thing. You're up 7-0, or you're up 14-6, or you're up 21-3, or whatever it might be. And it's like, hey, if we pop this, we feel like we could seal it. Throw them out there and see what happens. See if you can get a big play out of it.
Well, now normally you'd do an onside kick there, but let's try it that Connor's way. Let's try it that way. We can ice this thing. Let's onside kick it. No, guys, wait.
No, wrong thing. That's not what I said. That is not what I said. I want to make that very, very clear. All right. Back after this, Mitch Sherman will join us at the bottom of the hour. Still the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, you've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Well, we have something a little different for you right now. That's right now through September 22nd. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. I know that I will be taking advantage of this offer. Then with a YouTube TV base plan, which I do have, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel any time. That's 3 weeks of Sunday Ticket for free with a $5 bet. FanDuel.com/Happer. Download America's #1 sportsbook and get on this while you can. 21 and over, present in Iowa. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will automatically be charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Mitch Sherman will join us here in just a few moments. We'll react to the news. Sorry, I'm getting a little shaky on the camera. Dylan Raiola is Nebraska's starting quarterback. I know.
What?
I know.
Connor.
Calm down. I like what's broken out in our YouTube chat, which is people... I mentioned that they'd be coming out to Back in Black and they'd be all wearing single-digit jersey numbers. And it'd be kind of intimidating. And then someone mentioned that they should change, and by someone I meant Douglas. Bad take, Douglas, on YouTube. He says that they should upgrade the music to POD's Boom.
While that is a newer song than anything by AC/DC, it is still...
pretty old.
23 years old.
When did that song come out?
I believe that album came out on 9/11.
Oh, that was that one, huh?
Yeah.
Tough. That's probably why it didn't take off the way they thought it would. And so now people are.
It did.
The people are just really jumping all over Doug, including Mike. Patrons at Memorial Stadium want to pay for their runses and nickels and pennies and the pump-up song to be Chattanooga Choo Choo.
You're damn right.
Yeah, it's quite the age gap over there at Memorial Stadium.
Get out your penny farthings. Here come the Nebraska Black Shuts.
Hey guys, we're fine with this, right? Like we had a couple days, we reacted to the whole no cash thing. Like we're done now, right? We could just live. We could live our lives.
We're done for now. Sunday, Monday after UTEP, we will do this again, and then it will be over.
We won't.
And then it will be over.
No, we won't. We'll be talking about football. I don't think so. But somebody's gonna do a story about it, probably.
But it'll get swallowed up, right?
I hope so. Something's gonna happen.
Our great feeling by the 42-7 win.
Yes, but something's gonna happen in the game. Maybe Heine will catch a touchdown or throw one, or maybe he'll do all three. He'll run one, he'll catch one, he'll throw one, and then we'll never talk about cash in the stadium ever again for the Hawkers and how much money they need to make. Speaking of hype, I was going to mention this over the last couple of days, but I think it fits nicely into here. The Athletic every year does a Heisman draft. So they have a bunch of writers in, and then they go 4 rounds, and whoever wins the Heisman, gets the most points. Whoever gets second, the Heisman gets the most points. You have teams of people. And so in this draft, 36 players were drafted. 9 writers, 4 rounds. 36 players were drafted in this Athletic Heisman draft. Guess who was one of them?
Our big baby boy.
Our big baby boy indeed.
Dylan.
He went in the first pick of the 4th round.
Good value.
Selected by Bruce Feldman.
How many people are picking in this draft?
9.
Oh, okay.
9 people, 4 rounds. So Bruce Feldman got back-to-back picks, the last pick of round 3 and the first pick of round 4.
Snake draft.
Yeah, with the first pick of the 4th round, he 28th overall.
28th, yeah.
He used young Dylan Raiola. He says, I waffled on my last pick between Ashton Janty, the running back from Boise State, Kyron Drones, and Dylan Raiola. I opted for Raiola because I think Nebraska will be much improved this fall, and Raiola has the ability to be a program changer.
Hello. What does Bruce Feldman know? A lot.
He does, actually. He does. He does know a lot. So, he's not going to win the Heisman, but he's in the Heisman draft. And the Heisman winner will come from one of those 32 people.
Now you're saying he's not going to win the Heisman.
I'm saying Dylan Raiola has a 1 in 32 chance.
Oh, all right.
Probably not that good. Or the odds aren't probably that good. But yeah, I thought that was sort of interesting that he popped up there. He obviously plays the right position for it. I just don't think they're going to be that explosive this year. Like he's not going to put up Heisman numbers, right? But I think including him in the conversation of most valuable players in the country is notable.
Very.
Particularly before he's played a game, obviously. But I think that will probably turn out to ring true. But once again, maybe this isn't so much about 2024 and it's more about 2025 and 2026. So I thought that was notable, and I wanted to pass that along. We were trying to mention it the last couple days, but we never got to it. Baymon writes in.
Baymon.
Bruce Feldman drafted him in the Heisman draft before he was even named the starter. Yeah, what balls he's got. That's pretty incredible.
Big brass ones.
Yeah. Nice job by Bruce. All right, we'll come back. Mitch Sherman will join us on the other side. We'll talk about this announcement, what it does for the others in the room, and what it means for the program, and more. Next on 1620 The Zone.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
He can play. And we need people that can play.
And we'll never be royal. Let me live that fantasy. Oh.
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic. On the Connor Happer Show. On 1620, The Zone.
He can play.
All right, we'll track down Mitch in a second. He's certainly writing feverishly about this breaking news.
Yeah, he probably didn't know, and it caught him off guard. And he's like, "Oh man, I got to write a column."
Maybe he's calling somebody. Maybe he's talking to somebody.
Yeah, somebody.
I don't know.
Okay.
He's calling somebody for comment.
Sure.
That's what reporters do, right? They call people for comment.
Maybe he's trying to get in touch with Patrick Mahomes.
That he probably is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for Patrick Mahomes to respond to my tweet.
Oh, he did a tweet?
Yeah, I said, when will @Patrick Mahomes tweet about Dylan Raiola becoming the starter? The silence is deafening.
Well, we got to boost that tweet. Let's go.
I hope that I broke the news to him.
Oh, really?
He probably got a text, you know.
Hey, little cuzzo, just wanted you to know.
I like the little cuzzo bit too. It's kind of funny. When will he do it? The silence is deafening.
Many are asking.
This is our friend Ben Stevens, formerly known as Big Ten Ben.
Hi.
Do you know Ben?
Formerly Big Ten Ben?
Yeah, formerly Big Ten Ben. He's doing some other things now. He's in the sports grid.
Okay.
You know, he does banger tweets every once in a while.
Oh.
So Dylan Raiola will become the second true freshman to have started a season opener at Nebraska. Post Adrian Martinez in 2020 or 2018. He reminds us of Adrian Martinez's stats when he started 11 games. Now he started 11 games. He missed the entire Troy game, and really, he didn't really play against Michigan. I mean, he was out after 2 drives against Michigan because he was, first of all, not healthy, and second of all, they were getting absolutely bludgeoned, and they were like, "Let's just sit out." And then that's when Scott Frost, coming back that Monday, said, "Hey, we got a winnable game against Purdue," and then they lost that game too. But Adrian played it. I think Mitch is calling. Oh, no, it's gone. 2,617 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, with 629 yards on the ground and 8 touchdowns. So Adrian Martinez accounted for 25 touchdowns that year, 8 interceptions, and about 3,200 yards. That barometer has come up several times when we've talked about, hey, what are the expectations statistically for Dylan Raiola in his freshman year? I think that would be a very nice year. It'd be a very nice if he amassed somehow 3,200 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 8 picks. I think that would be pretty much right on par with what I expect. So we're joined now on the 42 Degrees Source Hotline by Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Mitch, good. Oh, let me turn you on here. Mitch, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you, Connor?
Good. Did you hear the news?
I did. I saw the news. Had to check to make sure it was real for a couple of minutes. Wasn't expecting it to be unveiled in that fashion, but nevertheless, it's the news we expected.
Indeed, it is. And so it immediately started to get me thinking about what it means. First of all, let's do this. What does it mean now for the rest of the room? Now that they can be, Matt Rule can be a little bit more forthcoming about how it's gone during camp and how it's gone over the last several months and whatever. Would you expect to hear anything about what it does to those other 2 quarterbacks in that room before Nebraska plays in their first game?
I think how they'll try to frame this is that it's not really going to change much of anything because they're going to continue to work together to win, and Rule won't drop his stance that he's taken throughout this offseason that Nebraska is going to need 3 quarterbacks to win this year. Not that they're all going to have to start games, but they're all going to have to do something, even if that means it's in practice or in the meeting room, whatever it might be. And probably more than 3. I think you can expand that to 4 with Jalen Gramstad and the role that he'll play. So, I'm interested to see kind of when you cut through that, though, Connor, the real talk. Like, okay, is Harburg going to dabble in some other elements? Who is officially the number 2 quarterback? We assume that it's Heinrich Harburg, but if they feel confident enough in what either Gramstad or Kalen has done here in August to put one of those guys in the number 2 spot, does it allow you some freedom to move Heinrich Harburg around? Now you can officially start talking about that, and asking that question and getting an answer that isn't just shrouded in this, we're going to need them all. But I do think that he'll continue to talk about the importance of the other quarterbacks in the room, even while they're not expected to play, as long as Dylan stays healthy.
The idea right out of the gate was that Raiola would be the starter. Kalen, hopefully he can get to the point where, you feel like you could put him in a game and he can kind of be the real true number 2 backup. And Heinrich Harburg also can play that role, but also you can do some different things with him and do packages. It was mentioned, kind of offhand by Howard Griffith on the BTN thing, and it kind of cropped back up in my mind, at least at that point. I'll ask you this, Mitch. Has everything gone, if that was the idea, has everything gone to plan to put Nebraska in a position where they can do something like that this year?
I think so. Yeah. This is the plan. The plan was for, of course, everyone to stay healthy. That's the big uncontrollable, and it's worked out. Gramstad, they found a guy in Gramstad who was uniquely positioned to fill the role that he's filling, and it seemed to have gone pretty well with him, to the point where you feel comfortable if he's needed, and he's adding in this element outside of the practice field or outside of the game environment. And yeah, I mean, you're listening to Matt Rule talk about Danny Kalen last Saturday. They're clearly happy with his progress and are bullish on his future. Some of that is that they want to talk him up because they want him to stay happy in the program, and they want him to be patient and believe that his time will come at some point. It might be unexpected and be sooner rather than later, or it could be a couple of years down the road, 3 years down the road, even if Dylan has the magical career that they hope that he has. So yeah, now it's like the train's out of the station, and you can just like start to assess how all of this is going to work out. I'm wondering myself about Harburg's role and whether it's realistic to believe that he can fit in at a spot other than quarterback this year, when you consider the different weapons that Nebraska has at all of those positions. Last year, it was a different kind of makeup with the skill players than it is right now.
Don't you think? And this is probably the argument to do it earlier, to do what they just did an hour ago earlier. But do you think not that Dylan Raiola, because one of the things that we've noticed from watching practice is that he has command and he has control, especially over that first group. But now that, all of that competition stuff, I guess, is kind of behind us and we can move forward this way. Like, what does that mean for Dylan Raiola? What does that do for him in the next week or so and into the start of the season?
They want to keep it as normal as they can for him. And I think that's been a part of the reason that this offseason has played out the way that it has. Like, let him continue to focus on his process. He does things his way as a quarterback, and that's been guided by all of the forces that we know about, from his dad and his dad's old teammates to the coaches and trainers that Dylan has called on. And now he's got this process at Nebraska, and they don't want to disrupt that because they feel like he's been outstanding with the progress that he's made, and he's stayed focused. So the hope, of course, is that when you do this, it doesn't all change, and you don't want him to start feeling additional pressure. So I don't think they're going to change a lot. Like, I don't think you're going to see Dylan. He may come to the interview on Tuesday when the players talk, but until he becomes entrenched and is like the guy. And it's very clear that he's taken to this well. Yeah, I don't think that you're going to see Nebraska put him in positions that are all that different from what we've seen him in over the last several months.
I don't know how much you've thought about this because we were just talking about it before you came on here from a statistical perspective. And like I said, this conversation hasn't changed over the last several months because we knew which way this was sort of going. But like, what are you sort of expecting from him, from Dylan, from a season long statistical perspective? Like, where do you start that? And then, kind of evaluate from there.
Well, they're going to throw the ball more this year. That's very clear. And start to look at the makeup of the offense, and they want to build it around a pro-style passing game. So that's going to influence the number of attempts that Raiola gets. It's going to influence, the yardage and touchdowns that you could expect. I still think that they, of course, want to have a presence on the ground. They absolutely do. They want to be a physical team. I'm not looking for gaudy numbers.
No.
Out of the gate. I think if he throws for 220 to 250 yards a game and keeps the turnovers at a minimum, then they're going to be right in the place that they want to be with their offensive progress. Like, that's a start. And then obviously it's dictated by the directions that the game goes. And there are games where you're going to want to throw it more because you need to. And there are other games where you're going to want to shut things down from an offensive standpoint when you get into the middle of the third quarter and just secure the win and move on to the next week and develop that physical brand of football that Nebraska wants to be known for, even with a 5-star quarterback slinging the ball.
Mitch, I'm curious, outside of the quarterback spot, I guess it could be included here, but now that we're at the, kind of tail end of this thing, heading into actual football, games talk, is there a position group that you feel like has gone stock up since camp started more than any other?
I think I'd maybe say the secondary, because I felt good about the defensive line and I felt good about the receivers. On the offensive side, I'd say the receivers, because it's just been a continuous rise. And there were still some questions about that group, I think, coming into camp, but they've done everything you can without playing games to answer those questions. On the defensive side, felt good about the D-line, and the secondary, I think, has solidified. And that was somewhat evident by the way that their teammates voted in the single-digit presentation yesterday, with 3 new DBs, or 3 DBs, not new, but experienced, but new to this single-digit thing, joining Deshaun Singleton and Isaac Gifford. Right now, they're excited about what this secondary can do, and I think John Butler's been a hit in camp here. It could have gone either way. It could have been a longer than he wanted to take process because he came in so late in the off season, but it's gone the direction, by all observations, that the best that you could have possibly hoped. And I think these guys have bought into what he's selling, and it's evident in the way they're coming out of camp here, with a very defined group atop the depth chart in the defensive backfield.
All right, Mitch, I think that makes us ready to go. We got the starting quarterback announcement out of the way, and now the countdown is really on. Appreciate you taking the time, as always, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, Connor.
Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. I would have the same answer to that question. If there's a group that I feel better about than I did at the beginning of camp, it's probably that defensive back room. Obviously, they haven't added any pieces or anything like that, but I think there has been, first of all, there's a health. I guess they have added pieces, kind of. You got Sierra Wright, and he seems to be in that mix for playing time. Then Sierra Wright, the actor. Then you got good injury news on Bly Hill, who will factor into the equation sooner rather than later. Buford's going to play corner. And then Tommy Hill's the other one, and the stock continues to be high as heck on him. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit later in the show. And then I think you've got some emerge, and you already knew what you're going to get out of Gifford and Singleton, and then Hartzog in the safeties and rover spots. And then I think some young guys have emerged. Some young guys have really come up and are going to vie for playing time here. So I think the question at the start of camp with that group was, there's guys back there, but none of them have done any. None of them have really played, and they don't. It's hard to tell. That's still true, but it's good to hear that guys. It feels like have made moves into playing time rather than being forced into playing time. I think that's the way that I would characterize that spot. All right, we'll be back after this. We got the odd news coming up. Don't forget to get your questions in for the tweet bag right after that. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Could use a few more questions for the tweet bag. coming up in just a few minutes.
You haven't been able to ask Connor a question in 3 weeks.
Yeah, come on, ask me stuff.
His life has changed drastically in those 3 weeks.
I try not to read them beforehand, too, just so you can get the automatic, first thought off the top of my head. So send them in. Whichever way you'd like to get in touch with the show, we'll have that in just a few minutes. I do want to throw a reminder in here.
Please.
That we here at 1620 The Zone are giving you a chance to win season passes for, Nebraska's favorite fall attraction.
The Applejack Festival?
More popular.
More popular.
Yes. Vallis Pumpkin Patch, the best of all.
That's an event in and of itself.
Could win 2 2024 season passes to Vallis. Season passes.
The whole season.
Yes. Enter to win right now on our website, 1620thezone.com. And while you're at it, please join 1620 the email.
Yeah. Might fire one of those up this afternoon if everyone leaves me alone.
Zap. When Josh's door is closed, don't talk to me.
It doesn't mean I want to hear about how the person in accounting pissed you off today. It means leave me alone.
Wow, that seemed pointed at somebody.
I don't know.
Do we have an accounting?
I don't think we do.
All right. Odd news. What do we got?
A man was hospitalized with a broken jaw in Providence early Tuesday morning. No word if Mutt Cuts was responsible.
Nice.
According to police, the victim...
Did you read this in the Rhode Island Slut?
I did. It was towards the back. According to police, the victim said he had been dragged out of a bar and beaten up over his song selection at a jukebox.
Dear God.
And no, I don't know what song, okay? Police responded for a report of an assault shortly after 1 a.m. Tuesday morning. The victim, a male in his 40s, told police he had been at Deadbeat's bar when 3 men started a fight with him over a song he selected on the jukebox.
Okay, did this article, for the love of God, please publish the song? What was the song?
I don't have the song.
How was that not a question? I no longer care about this story, Josh. This is a skip.
I would tell police I'm not printing it until I know the song.
Yeah, seriously. This is not worth my time unless you tell me what the song was. The song in question.
The victim is okay, by the way.
That's good, but I don't care.
I don't know if we can, search on Twitter or something. Providence jukebox.
Providence jukebox. Sure.
I don't know what comes up.
And hospitalized. The victim told police he lost consciousness and that he thought his jaw might be broken. Where are you getting your story from? GoLocalProv.com?
A Rhode Island Slut. We established this. I cited my source.
They don't. Deadbeat's Bar. Come on, guys, do your job.
Yeah. We don't ask for much.
First comment on Reddit. Am I really going to have to walk to Deadbeats tonight and ask what song caused a bar fight to satisfy this post?
Yeah, I think so.
The second comment, what song though? Response, news reporting is a lost art. Journalists today just aren't asking the right questions.
Great take.
I guarantee that if you pulled 1,000 people, this would be the first question asked by 99% of them.
Absolutely.
One person thinks that he played With Arms Wide Open 17 times back to back. With arms wide open. And a lot of guesses after that, but nothing else. Stupid.
We go to Florida, where a man is facing a felony charge in South Florida for a bizarre impersonation.
Can we call the bar? Can we call Deadbeats?
Do you think Deadbeat's Bar is on social media? And maybe like, okay, stop calling us. The song was blah, blah, blah.
Deadbeats Providence is on Instagram.
Bit of an upset.
They have 4,000 followers, probably mostly gained in the last 24 hours. Looks like a nice place.
Sure.
I'm going to send him a message.
Hey, look, real quick here.
Let's see if I can message him. Hello. What song was played when that guy got his ass beat? Done.
I'm sure such a formally worded request will be answered.
Okay. Next, I guess.
Okay.
I'll let you know if I get a response.
Okay. We appreciate that. Bizarre impersonation scheme going down in Florida. Police said a man ran an elaborate scheme to defraud tourists staying at a hotel in Miami Springs by pretending to be a well-known pizza parlor. That's right. A man pretended to be a pizza parlor. According to police,
He's a man.
Customers who thought they were ordering pies from Roman's Pizzeria were instead getting subpar slices from a man named Jose Marti Alvarez. The man distributed fake pizza flyers to hotel rooms advertising Roman Pizzeria. The proprietor of the real Roman's Pizzeria, who's been cooking up pies for 4 decades, very popular spot in Miami Springs. Not happy with this because there's a bit of a quality dip when you're ordering from the man pretending to be a pizza parlor. So he would hand the flyers out at the hotel with his phone number on them, but the logo and the menu for the real pizza parlor. And he'd bring his crappy pizzas to these people, and they'd call like, "Hey, it's been 2 hours. Where's my pizza?" But they'd call the real Romans because they'd Google Roman's Pizza. How do I call and complain to these people?
So he was just taking advantage of like Google SEO, basically.
Yeah.
So what? Where is this located?
Miami Springs.
All right. Because like I'm thinking, like you could probably get away with this if you actually made good pizza. Like I would go to a guy if he had good pizza.
Sure.
If I went to the guy for the first time and he made me good pizza, I would go back to the guy. I would call the guy back.
Police say this has been going on for several years and has caused significant hardships for the real Romans, including complaints to the Better Business Bureau, negative reviews, and upset customers.
That's tough.
He is facing felony charges. Okay, so they caught him.
Yeah. You got to get that guy out of there. You can't do that.
Big sigh of relief for Roman's Pizza.
Yeah, it's basically just a smear job on Romans.
Right.
Not good. Not good.
Finally, we go to an odd story. It's the odd news. So, insurance company Nationwide has announced the finalist for this year's Ham Bone Award, which celebrates the most unusual pet insurance claims of the year. The Ham Bone Award, named in honor of a dog who ate an entire holiday ham while stuck in a refrigerator, aims to shed light on the everyday and sometimes bizarre incidents that befall our pets. This year's finalists include Archie, a New Jersey dog who injured his paws when he broke through a vintage plate glass door while trying to alert his family of the mail carrier's arrival. And Bear, a Pennsylvania Corgi bear, very popular name, who bit into a bottle of nail adhesive and glued his mouth shut.
Yeah.
A New Jersey parrot named Clover also made the list after a growth spurt caused toenails on her feet to hook together. A Florida dog named Irma suffered from gastrointestinal issues that turned out to have been the result of eating metal wire pieces believed to be from a barbecue brush. Yeah, they tell you not to use those wire barbecue brushes anymore.
The kind of like Brillo patty things. Yeah, because
you're going to
they can do some damage. Yeah.
And a Virginia dog named Gordon who swallowed 2 large rocks from her neighbor's garden.
I know a dog who ate rocks once.
Oh, yeah? How did it end up?
It got hit by a truck.
But died unrelated to the rock.
It had some health problems.
Okay.
It was not supposed to be eating the rocks.
Rounding out the finalists.
Oh, actually, I don't think it did get hit by a truck. I think it did die of a heart attack. Whoa. I can't remember. Yeah, it's a farm dog, right? Farm dog. Like that dog eats anything.
Oh, sure. Okay.
You giving him the scraps from the table, and he's eating rocks. That dog was not healthy. Nice dog though, Frankie.
Oh, shout out Frankie.
I can't remember if Frankie got hit by a truck or if he got if he just died, killed over one day.
Final finalist, Lambo, a North Carolina dog who ate more than 250 jigsaw puzzle pieces. All of the pets nominated have made full recoveries. You can vote on the finalists through tomorrow.
Frankie did not have the same fate.
With the winner being announced August 27th.
All right, looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
I do have a response I do have an inquiry out to Deadbeats Bar in Providence.
You said response, and I was like, oh my gosh.
No, it's not a response. And in fact, it hasn't been, I think you can tell when it's been seen, right?
Yeah.
I think I haven't been left on red yet, but I'll let you know when I do. The tweet bag is coming up. Thank you, Josh.
Sure. Thank you, Connor.
Michael writes into the show.
Hi, Michael.
Please clip that quote. I know a dog who ate rocks. It died. It died? ? Yeah, it got hit by a truck. I'm not sure if that was the cause of death for him.
I mean, that'll do it though.
It was one of the two for sure. It was, and he was constantly in danger of both. All right, the tweet bag is next on 1620 The Zone.
the Tweet Bag. You send your questions in, and we answer them. Like no other radio segment ever. It's the Tweet Bag on the Connor Happer Show.
Yes. What have you guys been talking about on the Tweet Bag since I haven't been here?
A lot of getting to know our guest hosts. A lot of, hey, what's your wild
Boring
food takes?
Boring. Come on. Don't you want to hear what kind of crazy stuff I'll say?
He'll say it too.
Oh, I'll say it. I don't care. Let's do it. Tweet bag. We got a few tweets. We got a few emails.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I see this guy because I have all the notifications for all of our like zone accounts and stuff like that going on.
So many accounts, as Jack Mitchell pointed out yesterday.
How does Jack know that I have so many accounts?
Yesterday, he was watching the crossover, and he commented, "You guys have so many Twitter accounts."
Well, trying to get that reach going, you know. Anyway, at 1620 The Zone, which is where you can stream our show on Twitter. There's a person, Ralph, censored American.
Oh yeah, I read.
You know about this guy?
I read this tweet. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So it's attached to a tweet that is the breaking news tweet about how Dylan Raiola is Nebraska's starting quarterback now.
People forget.
Censored American Ralph says, "Shock, shock, shock to no one except the 1620 The Zone stooges. Hashtag Raiola. Hashtag Nebraska. Hashtag Big Ten." Definitely a surprise to me, Ralph. Censored American.
I'm guessing Ralph cannot pick up on sarcasm when we've said things about Dylan Raiola being named the starter. Just a hunch based on a lot of his other tweets.
I'm shocked. I don't know what you're talking about.
That bowl game better not be on January 6th or Ralph is unavailable.
Doing some celebrating that day?
He's got plans.
Sipping back on Grandpa's old cough medicine? All right, what's going on? What do we got?
Tom, first question. It's Tom with an H, by the way.
Thumb.
Not that thumb. Congrats on the addition, Connor. Would you rather have Nebraska be 7-0 going into Columbus?
I like that.
Or a month of uninterrupted sleep at night?
Oh, 7-0 going to Columbus.
Really? You would sacrifice yourself for the squad?
Yeah, like it's not that big of a deal. Sleep?
Yeah, you get by, you get through.
Yeah, you adapt, you make it. Adapt or die, Josh.
If we die, we die.
I'll say, like, you know, my wife takes on such a great share of the burden because, you know, she's the one who supplies the food for the child at this moment in time.
Okay.
Eventually, this burden will be shared with me. You know, but right now it can't be. So I would say that it's not that much different right now than it was before.
No bottles?
No, there are bottles.
Okay.
There are bottles.
Okay.
There's some bottles. But no, I would say that right now it's not that much different than it was before. From a sleep perspective.
Okay.
So I was already like, you know, a general guideline for me as far as bedtime goes is midnight. And then I wake up at about 6:30 or 7, depending on what I have to do that morning. Today was 6:30. It was pretty much exactly that last night. So even if I did have to wake up at 3:00 in the morning at some point, like, I don't know, you're tired, but you slug a coffee and you get the job done, baby. Give me 7-0, like I don't even really have to think about that much.
The state thanks you.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I am absolutely willing to. You know, I don't know. I'm not sure how little sleep that I need to like survive, but I'm definitely not near that point right now.
Are you dad napping?
Yeah, but I would come back. I mean, I could come back from working at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and I can get in an hour or so.
Okay.
On the couch, whatever it needs to be, depending on what I have to do at night. Like, yeah, I sneak them in whenever I can.
Great.
You prioritize what you prioritize, Josh.
That's right.
I always say that. You want to do something, just do it.
Whoa.
You want to get skinny? Stop eating.
I love eating though, Connor. I've
Well,
told you this.
then you're not prioritizing it.
Not.
You're not prioritizing it. That's the deal. Give me 7-0. I'll prioritize 7-0.
Oh. Declan tweets in.
What up, Declan?
What movies are you going to show your daughter? Sit down, kid. It's time to learn something. That's Harry and that's Lloyd.
When does that happen? When does the child become aware?
I mean, just like in general.
Well, like when can I show him a movie and say, sit down, like this is, I want you to remember this.
Ooh,
it's not for another couple of years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I would say probably
so by
3.
by then I will have seen probably about one more new movie going at the pace that I'm at right now.
That's right.
So maybe that one's a banger. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, Dumb and Dumber, obviously.
The
Terminal, obviously. I'm interested in what will happen to my life like when I have to start watching kids stuff. Like, is it possible to avoid that?
No.
Like you're telling me
unless
you're telling me if I flipped on baseball instead of like Bluey that they wouldn't take.
Unless you want to be constantly playing with your child.
Oh, I kind of do. I like hanging out with her.
You say that now, Connor.
Okay.
But you're going to want to just sit there and be unbothered. And the only way you're going to get that is if you turn on Bluey.
Really?
Yeah.
She won't watch a baseball game?
I would be surprised if she did.
Here's the thing, like she doesn't know what she's watching. Right? She's just
right now, yes.
Right, but like no, not even then, like she goes in with no like preconceived notions like this is a kid's show that everybody loves like Bluey. So what if I was just like, yeah, this is what we watch in this house. There's no
Okay, I've never thought about that. Yeah, they don't know what is and what is not children's programming.
What is and what's not for them.
Yeah. I never thought of spinning it that way.
Yeah. So what if I just said the Royals are Bluey?
Let me tell you, there's a lot of crap on YouTube. A lot of just kids opening toys.
There's a lot of crap on the Royals too.
That's true.
Less now.
Beat the Angels.
Still a lot of crap. So I don't know.
It's Michael.
It's Michael. Thank you, Michael. I've been parsing through the book that Michael gave me a little bit. Yes.
A book?
Michael gave me a book.
What? On fatherhood?
Yes. About
Is it
fatherhood.
from Bill Cosby or Paul Reiser?
No.
Okay. They both wrote books on fatherhood.
That's another appearance from Michael. He just shows up. He's like he's a fairy of some sort. But no, baseball is the new Bluey for my house.
Okay.
We're gonna try it.
Good luck with that. We had a one on the YouTube chat I want to get to here. I liked it. I think it was from Wade. Where'd it go? I'd like to put it up on the screen, but if I can't find it, I can't find it.
We get a lot of comments, Josh.
There it is. We're very popular. If Dylon was your spirit animal, what animal would he be?
If Dylon was my spirit animal, what animal would he?
That's the way the question is worded. Yes.
Are you asking what my spirit animal is?
I think so.
Like if Dylon was my spirit animal, then he would be Dylon, right? Is that a trick question?
I don't think so.
Is that like, eight people died in a fire or something like that? How many people survived or whatever? One of those questions. It'd be Dylon. What's Dylon's spirit animal? I don't know.
I mean, are there any animals with mullets?
Ain't a horse. A horse kind of has some hair in the front and the side, but they got the hair going down.
Like a gator?
He's not a horse. He's not as like regal and majestic as a horse.
I don't know. I haven't seen him run. I've heard I'm not going to either.
You've seen Patrick Mahomes run.
I have.
It's the same thing. Oh, okay. Bayamon clarifies. What animal would represent him in your dreams?
Ooh.
Like a tiny baby deer, a doe.
A female deer.
Yeah, just a little bit like it's got little tiny legs, and I want to protect it.
Okay.
That's my Horcrux.
Wow. Look at you.
That's a Harry Potter reference for you.
Steve tweets in.
Hey, Steve.
Connor.
Yep.
Have you puked from changing a poopy diaper yet?
I have not. No, I have a pretty. I do pretty okay in that category. I have a pretty strong stomach.
I thought that was something that I'm gonna struggle with this.
It hasn't been,
and I really didn't.
It hasn't been horribly gross. Like there's been puke. There's been poop and puke on a few things that there just weren't supposed. Not puke, but like spit up, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
On a few things that just weren't supposed to have those things on them.
Sure.
But that's part of the gig. I just kind of expected it.
Right.
I feel like if I got through the birth, without really,
yeah,
I feel like I should be okay, right?
I would think so.
I don't get too queasy with the smells and stuff like that.
I mean,
I do pretty well.
The blowouts are the ones you really gotta.
Yeah. Hey, never say never. Never say never. I don't think I've ever actually puked because of like either I've only puked from being sick or like acid reflux or drunkenness.
Never a you go, I go scenario.
No. I think that's more funny than anything. I got a few from the text line if you want them.
Please.
Since this is a lot about fatherhood here, Cody. Cody writes in, since Connor is a new father and it is coming up on fall, what is a festival or activity that Mrs. Happer is the most excited to take the baby for fun family outings? Also, will Connor be wearing a matching family outfit? I would probably do that.
Okay.
I would probably do that.
Because knowing what I know about your wife, she loves a theme.
I don't know if we're going anywhere for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What sense does it make to take the baby out and do stuff with it? Only bad things could happen.
That's right.
That
first winter,
and it's just gonna
sick all the time.
Yeah, She might go. She might come visit me at a basketball game or something like that.
Okay.
But remember, like a lot of the sporting events around here, I'm already there. So that means mom's got to get the baby, and it's a solo venture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a solo project. Hi, Dad. Bleh, go home. That's not worth it, probably. So I think Mrs. Happer is going to be fine, just like hanging out, doing nothing for the next few months. That's the plan.
Sounds great.
I would definitely wear. There are, and I don't feel like great about this, but there will be newborn like professional photography in the coming days.
Standard.
Yeah. Not excited about that.
I mean,
not excited about
one of those things you got to do.
And in that one way, I have a shirt that looks like everybody else's shirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's happening. Let's see. Happer's meme guy.
Hi, Happer's meme guy.
Power rank the following: rye whiskey, rye bread, Raiola.
I'm going to go rye whiskey number 1, Raiola number 2, large gap, rye bread.
Really?
last.
They're all good. I'm in on rye bread. On a marble rye, Josh?
Marble rye better than...
Oh, I love a good deli sandwich, fresh cut on a rye.
Too much caraway and you've lost me.
Give me Raiola. Rye bread, rye whiskey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all good though. I'm in on all three. Happer's email has another one, by the way.
Hi, Happer's meme guy.
Is Happer saying Dylon would be a stag in his dreams like Harry Potter's Patronus? Yes, I am.
Y'all are saying a bunch of words that I don't quite
You don't
understand.
get the Harry Potter references? It's Harry Potter season. It's time to watch Harry Potter a bunch, Josh.
Harry Potter season?
Yes, this is the time of year where you watch Harry Potter.
Poll question up at Happer Show. Is it almost Harry Potter season?
No, okay. Either that or is this the time of year where you watch Harry Potter? This is Harry Potter season for sure. It's like an 80% yes.
Are you because the Halloween? Is that what we're doing?
I can't explain it to you, Josh. Like something about the settings of the movie. The movie is always kind of dark. It's like
the first one take place at Christmas.
It's like it's in West Lafayette. Most.
Okay, yeah, I follow that.
I think Harry Potter and football go together better than you think.
Because of Quidditch?
No, there's only really one Quidditch scene in the entire series.
That's right.
There's a couple more.
And it birthed a whole sport.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't it go in the Olympics one year or something like that?
Not the Olympic, college.
That's right.
Creighton was very good at it. Sal on YouTube says, wrong, Connor. This is the time to live. Live, damn it. Go to a brewery. Go anywhere. Once they're a toddler, it hits the fan.
That's probably a good point. Okay, I'll have to think about that.
Maybe
one.
you and the missus drop the baby off and you go to an Oktoberfest. I know you're out on drinking, but your wife has not been able to in quite some time.
It's true, and I still don't think she has. Yeah, okay. We might do that. Poll question, does Hogwarts feel like West Lafayette?
That's a good one.
Another texter says it's Lord of the Rings season.
I don't.
Also, a really good point from Aaron. It's probably not Harry Potter season for Josh because he was dressed up as Harry Potter at all times of the year, signed his ex-girlfriend. People forget about that one.
People do.
That's a good callback.
They don't forget about that, though, is the thing. I physically cannot forget about it, although I would like to.
TC writes in.
What up, TC?
What would a chair look like if your knees bent the other way? How would they design chairs if your knees bent the other way? It'd be kind of, there'd be like the leg support would be like there'd be like a dip in it.
Yeah.
It'd be, I mean, it's almost uncomfortable to think about. My legs bending the other way.
What?
Ugh, gross.
I mean, would it just look like a more like diagonal slope chair? I'm having trouble picturing it all.
Well, you actually wouldn't, for like a normal chair with no feet rest, you actually wouldn't need to change the chair at all because your legs would wrap around the bottom of the chair.
Okay. Kind of be sitting almost AC Slater style.
Yeah. But if it had a footrest or an ottoman or something like that, then it would have.
That's when you'd
have to really change it up. No JD Vance references on this show.
Never.
John emails in.
Hi, John.
Bluey is manageable, but for the love of God, do not allow Baby Shark to invade your home. Also, my 2.5-year-old grandson will sit with me and watch a football life. They don't care what's on the screen. See?
Just like the colors.
They just want to hang out with me. Maybe I'm the attraction. Andrew writes in, doesn't Josh have that girlfriend that tried to turn him into Harry Potter? I'm glad that people mentioned this because I forgot about that.
Oh, really?
This is why you don't think it's Harry Potter season. It is. Because you have been scarred by Harry Potter. Get it? Scarred.
Because he had the scar on his head.
You should actually get a tattoo of a lightning bolt because this is part of you.
Ka-chow.
No, that's a Cars reference. Oh. This is a part of your past, And it's just, these are my scars. These are what define me. And somebody would come up to you and they'd be like, you have a lightning bolt
on your forehead.
Tattoo. And do you like Harry Potter? Oh, I love Harry Potter too. And you would say, no, I actually hate Harry Potter, but I need to keep it with me at all times.
But then that would have me rehashing my pain constantly in public, and people would come up to me.
That's the only way to get over it, because you're clearly not over it.
But people would come up to me and be like, "Oh, hey, it's Harry Potter, it's Harry Potter," and then I'd be right back where I was 20 years ago.
I just want you to move past it. It doesn't seem like you're there yet. You're blanking out Harry Potter completely from your brain.
I watched the movies once during the pandemic. They were fine.
Oh, you did? Okay, you have.
The Prisoner of Exarban was the best one.
Matt tweets in.
Hi, Matt.
Don't you guys feel a little insensitive celebrating this Raiola news when Bennifer's marriage is falling apart?
Yeah. Let's stick to the issues here. On the couple's second wedding anniversary, she files for divorce.
But apparently they've been separated for quite some time.
Yes, since April. But
what's going on with J-Lo?
The actual file date was their anniversary.
J-Lo is maybe a little
cold-blooded?
Yeah, she cold. Ooh. I would say, damn, that's cold. But guess what? Somebody else is going to try and marry her. I mean,
oh yeah, no, that's
you could see all the red flags in the entire world.
She's our generation's Elizabeth Taylor.
She's been married
going to get married 8, 10, 12 times.
She's been married to this guy twice.
Yeah.
And divorced him a second time, was separated from him for more than 6 months, and then filed for divorce on their anniversary. And people are like, I still like her. I still see the good in her.
She's still Jenny from the block.
I remember Made in Manhattan. I actually saw that movie, Josh.
Oh.
If animals...
they've only been married once?
Oh, really? They were just together that first time?
Just engaged or something?
Gotcha.
Okay. I was going to see like how many days total they were married and all that. Okay.
If animals could talk, would they have an accent?
I kind of always picture them with a little bit of an accent. Yeah.
Well, kangaroos are Australian.
Yeah.
You think of a British animal? I always think about them like I kind of stereotype animals like where are you indigenous to? Like
Okay.
where are you from?
Mhm.
Like if it's an animal that you see a lot in Texas, they have a Texas accent. You know,
all the animals in Oliver and Company had like a Brooklyn accent because they were singing Billy Joel songs all day.
Rats sound like New Yorkers for sure.
Definitely.
If like a snake,
Mhm.
depending on like, are you a fang snake? Are you going to bite somebody, or you're just a rattlesnake? You sound different compared to those two. But absolutely, yeah, they have accents.
Tigers always have like a slightly British
Definitely
accent.
regal, very
yes,
regal. Indeed. Yeah, so I think the answer is yes.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page on that issue, actually.
Yeah. All right. Another poll question. Do you remember Made in Manhattan?
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's do it.
Text from the 602. Connor, if your knees bent the other way, you would be like a bird. Imagine a turkey. Their knees bend the other way.
Oh.
Well, what kind of chair does a turkey sit in?
Like crock pot?
Aaron writes in, I think Josh needs the tattoo and he has to change his Harry Potter origin story similar to the Joker changing the story of his scars.
You want to know how I got this scar?
Poll question: if rats could talk, would they sound like New Yorkers?
Yes, of course they would.
Okay, we got a lot out of that. More to come on the thanks. Good bag. Yeah.
Great bag.
More to come on 1620 The Zone. But first, you've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. We got something extra for you this year. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. If a rat was reading this, he would say, you can get YouTube TV.
Go Jets.
Go Jets. Now through September 22nd. Then with a YouTube TV base plan, you'd be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game, including my Jets and the Giants. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Head to FanDuel.com/Happer, download America's #1 sportsbook. And remember, that is now through September 22nd. Get in on that $5 bet. FanDuel.com/Happer. 21 and over, present in Iowa. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after the free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF. Robin Washut will join us at the top of the hour. An email from Bruce on the
Bruce.
Bank inbox. What animal would represent Nebraska if rats are New Yorkers and kangaroos are Australian? Then what? No, I mean, it probably wouldn't be very flattering. Like, I mean, people from around the country, they look at Nebraska and it's like, oh, the people in the middle of the country who love Mountain Dew and tacos made of ground beef, like
tacos.
I think we're gonna make tacos tonight. That's
hilarious. We had tacos last night.
What's an animal that is that?
Looks like,
what's the most white suburban animal that there is?
Wow, great question. I was stuck on Sandhill Crane, and now
yeah, that's too on the nose. That's functionally the animal that represents. Oh, you can't, the Western meadowlark. No, it's not that.
What's the most basic?
Yeah, like what's the
animal?
They're just a bird or
Are
something.
we all golden retrievers?
Yeah, maybe a golden retriever who really enjoys tacos. But like only specific kind of taco. I don't want any salad. Could you take the onions off of those?
Not too much spice now.
Nebraska.
A great state.
Yeah, it's a great state. But keep in mind, when you go to order chicken wings at a restaurant, the hot is mild. The medium is nothing, and the mild is more nothing. Make sure it's medium rare, but not too rare.
You can get chicken wings with us at Oscars.
Yeah.
1 week from tomorrow.
Texter says a golden retriever. A good one. Bigelow. Bush's baked beans golden retriever. That one.
Yeah.
But he says ope a lot.
Oh, let me just get through here. Let me just get by you.
Yeah, I'd say it's good. Venmo Chris says Nebraska would be a cow for many reasons.
What's with everyone calling us fat today?
I'm just once again, stereotypes are stereotypes. You can't really get rid of those.
Right.
Like it's just
sometimes they're quicker. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Just the deal. Saw a prediction today, a series of predictions actually from our friends at CBS Sports.
Hello.
Big Ten Expert Picks 2024.
Expert picks?
Yeah, expert picks. So you know it's good. Most overrated and underrated teams, projected order of finish, and bold predictions. Let me highlight a couple things here. So this is where we get to find out who the riders are which riders are ride or die with us this year. Which riders were there at the start, right?
Very important preseason.
Your silence right now, if you're being silent about Nebraska, and then you try to say at the end of the year, oh, I kind of felt like that was going to happen this year. You're dead to me.
That's going to happen a
publicly
lot.
Defend Nebraska. If you're publicly defending Nebraska right now, if you're publicly, trying to prop up Nebraska right now, we'll remember that.
Mm-hmm.
History will reflect upon you well. So a couple notes. Let's go to the most underrated team category.
Underrated.
Yes, this is one of the most underrated teams.
Okay.
Nebraska is listed. The Cornhuskers are somehow withstanding the longest bowl drought in the power conferences. People forget that. Not to worry. Those demons will be exercised this season. Matt Rule is a developmental wizard, and the benefits should truly start to show in year 2.
Wizard.
The defense took a step toward black shirt status and will take another step in 2024. However, the real upside comes on offense with 5-star quarterback Dylan Raiola leading the offense alongside a plethora of intriguing skill talents.
Why would they call him that?
Dylan.
With only 3 preseason ranked teams on the schedule, the sky is the limit in Lincoln. Then, so that was from Sheehan Giara. I apologize.
Really thought you had it.
Apologize. Then we go to the bold predictions section. Here's Dennis Dodd.
All right.
Terrified. A Black Friday loss at Iowa keeps Nebraska out of the playoff after a 6-1 start.
Whoa.
The Huskers go into the finale 8-3. with a 9th win, putting the Huskers in the college football playoff discussion. Matt Rule is the Big Ten Coach of the Year, and the Huskers go bowling for the first time in 8 years.
Where do I sign? I'll take that right now.
Yeah, I take it, but it's very sad. You paint a very sad picture, Dennis. Somehow that was like a backhanded compliment. Oh, they're going to be really good. They're going to be 8-3. Matt Rule's the Coach of the Year, but you're going to have your heart ripped out against Iowa. And like, imagine going into the Iowa game thinking you have a chance to go to the playoff if you just simply beat Iowa and then they lose. That would be excruciating. A good kind of excruciating.
It would, but in January or February, you'd go, hey, you know what?
They were
really improved.
They were there. They were just a couple possessions away from going undefeated and winning the national championship. Yes,
that's right.
Certainly what they would do. Then
would be insufferable for the offseason.
It would be possibly more crazy than 18 into 19.
Yeah,
that offseason. Then each of the writers predicted an order of finish in the conference. Now, Josh,
okay,
what do we talk about on this show? If you're a top 4 or 5 team in the Big Ten, you're probably going to be in the mix for the college football playoff, right? That means you have won at least 8 games, probably just 2 or 3 conference losses. You're in the mix for a conference championship game.
Yeah, Matt Rule is constantly triggering the rubes down south by saying the Big Ten will get 4 teams in the playoff.
Yeah, and we'll see. They may or may not this year. So Dennis Dodd has Nebraska picked 4th in the Big Ten.
4th.
Behind Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State. Jerry Palm, he of basketball fame, has Nebraska picked 4th in the Big Ten.
Thanks, Jer. Jer Bear.
Other predictions include Nebraska finishing 8th, Nebraska finishing 7th, Nebraska finishing 8th, and Nebraska finishing 8th. So,
I mean, it's a big conference.
A couple 4ths and a couple 7ths and 8ths. Basically, I mean, we talked about this when we kind of tiered out the conference a little bit earlier. Like, I think you have, like, the way that people are projecting it anyway, you have this Ohio State, Oregon tier, and then you kind of have this, like, I don't know what's going to happen here, but it's Penn State and Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's in no order, Iowa, Nebraska, USC, Rutgers, Wisconsin, maybe Washington.
Yeah, like 5 through 11,
yeah.
5 through 12.
And then you have garbage tier.
Yeah.
Nebraska is
the Purdue tier, as we're calling it.
The Purdue tier. The West Lafayette Memorial tier. Mm-hmm. The Beth Mowins tier. I don't know what to think about Minnesota this year. I'm a little intrigued. People are picking Minnesota like toward the bottom, and I'm not sure I see that. I think they might be okay. Although me and Tom Fornelli handshake memed when he picked Northwestern to finish dead last, much like I did in our 1620 the media poll.
Oh.
Going out on limbs there.
This is going to be fun to look back on.
All right, 8-3. Now let's transport yourself to Black Friday, Josh. Transport yourself.
Okay.
Iowa Western's undefeated.
Damn straight.
Nebraska and let's see. Nebraska and Creighton have played each other in basketball, right? Yeah. Yes. That would be the Friday before that.
We have a president-elect.
No
comment on who.
Theoretically,
yes.
Theoretically. And Nebraska has just beaten Wisconsin in football. Haven't done it since 2012.
That'll feel good. That's
8-3, assuming you beat Wisconsin.
I feel like Nebraska is going to just generally break a lot of chains this year that have been tied around their waists.
The chain breaking year.
Yeah.
Nebraska's 8-3 going into Black Friday.
I'm thrilled. I'm very happy.
Yeah, but then Black Friday happens. And it's a night game.
It can be so cold.
And they get their souls ripped out against Iowa. And Iowa's not even good.
Iowa's Iowa.
Iowa's just Iowa. And then you're 8-4 and you got to go to the Holiday Bowl or something stupid. I'm pretty triggered after that, Josh.
I mean,
I'm pretty triggered. But in the grand scheme of like off-season talk and blah, 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 like, of course, I'm very happy. But I'm very, very sad. at the same time.
In that moment, yes, the entire fan base will be absolutely, unbelievably triggered by yet another trip to the Holiday Bowl.
Yeah.
But we haven't been to a bowl in so long.
Yeah, because you lost to Iowa. You lost to anybody else.
I've been there.
Anybody else. Just don't lose to them.
I wanted the Citrus Bowl.
Text from the 712. This is from the state of Iowa.
That's right. Hi, 712.
Oh, great. So Dennis Dodd's in the hypothetical, like, we are close. Yeah, that's definitely, we heard it.
We're close.
It's in there. Also, people bouncing some things off us in terms of which state would be which animal. We kind of like this game. Text from the 402. Iowa is a pig.
A lot of pigs in
It
that
hurts.
state.
It hurts. But it might be true. Football text from the 402.
Hi, 402.
9-4 with a bowl win or 8-5 with a bowl loss and an Iowa loss. Oh, that's these are my contracts. Okay, Josh, once again.
Okay.
I have two pieces of paper.
Please present them to me again. I'm sorry.
The first one says 9-4 with the bowl win. You know nothing else.
I like that. That's a good offer.
Yes.
Thank you, Howie Mandel.
The second contract says, okay. No. These are not contract offers. These are just possible scenarios to come after. Let me do the contract offer then.
Okay.
8-4, and you lose the Iowa game to go to 8-4 because you're on the brink of the college football playoff, but you win the bowl game to go 9-4. 9-4. Bo Pelini. It turns out it's Bo Pelini season. or you are 7-4 going into the Iowa game. You beat Iowa and you lose the bowl game. So in both cases, you are 8 wins going into the bowl game. Basically, I'm asking, would you rather have a bowl win or Iowa?
I'd rather beat Iowa than have a bowl win.
I would too. Screw that bowl. Trust me, after this season, you guys will be talking the same way. You guys will think the same thing. Everybody, you know what I've been mad about? You know one thing I got irrationally mad about while I was gone? One more thing before we take a break.
Please.
All this talk about bowl games. We were like, oh, yeah, we haven't been to a bowl game since 2016. And you know what's really great about that? You just get all those practices. Shut up! Shut up about the practices! Shut up about the practices! Going to a bowl game is about perception. Or more importantly, not going to a bowl game is about perception.
That's it. That's what it is.
It's not about the practices. Nebraska not going to bowl games did not hold them back from going to more bowl games.
Yes.
Because they had less practices during that period of time. I know wizard Scott Frost tried to brainwash you into thinking that, but it's not true. 15 extra practices where you're working on freshman stuff only, preparing for a bowl game, does not make the difference between a good season and a bad season or advancement in your program. Shut up about the practices.
Winning football games gets you to a bowl game, and winning games gets you better recruits.
Yeah. Not practices. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Couple updates here. First of all, no response from Patrick Mahomes yet.
What about Deadbeats Bar?
And that was my second update.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to step on your toes there.
Still no response from Deadbeats Bar about which song played when that guy got beat up in Providence. Although if you go to their Instagram story, Josh, I'm going to put this up on the screen.
Okay.
What's going on here?
Roadhouse.
They're just promoting Roadhouse.
Because people fight there? Is that what they're saying?
I guess so.
There were a lot of fights at Roadhouse.
Yeah.
They need a cooler. Call Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, so I got a message out. We'll see if we get anything back.
Seems like they're embracing
a little bit
the story.
From the text line, from the 757.
Hi, 757.
That's Virginia.
Oh.
This is the best Happer show ever, and yes, all rats have New York accents.
Now, is that because rats are thought of as a New York animal, or is it because of the Muppets and Rizzo the Rat?
It's definitely not for the Muppet because of the Muppets for me.
Okay.
I just think rat. I think New York.
Okay. I assume that's why Rizzo the Rat from the Muppets had a New York accent.
They exist. I mean, rats exist everywhere, but they're most commonly associated, in my mind, with New York.
Okay.
Pizza Rat.
Pizza Rat, yeah.
There's always Pizza Rat. All right, Robin Washut is going to join us in a minute. Oh, yeah, there was this story. Josh brought this to my attention. So,
good. I'm glad I could do that.
Remember when we used to talk about when it was summertime and there was nothing to do? We used to talk about TV all the time. What game's going to be on TV? God, can you believe us? 2 months ago, us would be so jealous of right now. Us.
We were disgusting.
We were horribly disgusting. We were the rat. Just look at something anywhere. So we had to talk about TV and TV deals and NIL and what's the schedule going to look like and blah, blah, blah. And settlements and courts and things. Oh, that's gross. We'll never talk about that again until January.
That's right. Yes.
So it was a big topic. Fox, notably this year, does not have the Oregon-Ohio State game.
It's true.
We knew because that guy with loafers went on Cowherd's show, the Fox guy, Michael Mulvihill, and he said, hey, look, we got the first 2 weeks, and how the draft works is you get to draft weeks rather than draft individual games. You draft individual weeks to get to have the right to the first pick to that week. So Fox had the first 3 picks, but they traded the third one. They took the first 2, which resulted in, what did it result in? Michigan, Ohio State obviously was the first one. And then the September 7th week, the second week of the season, which Fox used their pick to take Michigan and Texas, obviously leaving Colorado and Nebraska to NBC. They also had the third pick, but they traded it. And
a trade?
Now we have learned what they traded it for. When Josh read this earlier, he said, interesting.
I did.
Why do you think it's so interesting, Josh?
We've long opined to be in the room for the draft.
We'd like to cover the draft.
We would like to see how it works. We'd like someone from The Athletic to be invited in and then write a long piece on how it works, the nuts and bolts, and just a trade. A trade is very interesting. Fox clearly didn't know what to do with Ohio State, Oregon being played in Oregon. Like, okay, can't really be Big Noon. What do we do?
I think they decided, right. So you're restricted in time. Obviously, they knew they could have used that third pick on the October 12th week, which would feature Ohio State and Oregon, but they didn't, and they decided to go with the November 2nd date, which Ohio State is going to go to Penn State, and that's obviously the game that they're probably going to take.
Oregon is also at the Big House
if they're interested,
Mhm.
right? But you have 2 East Coast games. They're both options for you for big noon. So you're limited in terms of time that you could play the game. Obviously, Fox can flex out and they could say, "Hey, we're going to play it at 2:30, or we're going to play it at Central Time, or 6:30, and go up against the big game that's going on at night." That's a big week, obviously, in college football. But I think a lot of it too is probably, and I don't know this for sure. This is just a thought. Like, it's these 2 teams. Oregon is new to the conference. They're getting this. They're getting the opportunity to host this game. It's not as disorienting to the brain if that game's not on Fox, because it feels like a not Fox game, right? And I think that sentiment was carried out through the rest of what they did. And so this was written in the Awful Announcing story. It's also worth noting that a part of Fox's calculus appears to be the logistical difficulties presented by that game taking on the West Coast. Considering the Big Ten's growing presence on that side of the country, that's a hurdle it will likely continue to face move forward. In other words, don't be surprised if you see Fox making even more trades in the coming years. I wonder if we could take that a step further and say, does the Big Ten, aka Fox, they don't completely benefit. It presents issues when Oregon is good, because you want to showcase them,
right?
You want to put them in your biggest television spots, but if they're playing a game at home, you can't.
You can't put it in your coveted time slot of big noon kickoff.
Yeah.
You have to do it
some other time.
So then you have to think, okay, well, what are we going to put at big noon that's going to keep people all day? We don't want to just put a good game at 2:30 and whatever, Purdue, Indiana will be great at 11. It'll be fine.
So NBC is going to take the Oregon-Ohio State game on October 12th, and they'll have a doubleheader that day, which will feature Notre Dame and Stanford and Oregon-Ohio State. They'll also have the doubleheader on the day that Nebraska plays Colorado, with Notre Dame playing God knows who. Northern Illinois, I think.
Yes.
Is that what we decided yesterday? And here's the other part with Fox, like, if you're a TV partner with the Big Ten, you're actually not like, you can't lose.
Yeah.
There's so many damn teams and there's so many things to do. Like, if you want one of the big brands on any given day, now they might be playing somebody really bad, but it doesn't matter. You get the brands and you get the viewership that you need.
It seems like
November 2nd is a huge day in the Big Ten. I mean, it's stacked up that day. So that's the one they went with.
It seems like if you are a Big Ten team, there are 3 networks and 3 coveted time slots. 11 a.m.
Yep.
Big Fox, 2:30 CBS. Night games look like they're going to be on NBC generally.
Indeed.
So you can't lose.
You're going to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
You're going to be in pretty good shape. All right. That's enough. We'll never talk about TV again until Nebraska gets more game times.
Inaccurate.
We'll talk about more TV. Yeah, it's inaccurate. But January, it'll really heat back up.
Oh, yeah.
But for the next couple months, see you later. I don't talk about any NIL either. I don't want to hear it.
I won't hear it.
I won't. We'll just ignore it. All right, back after this with Robin Washut next on 1620 The Zone.
the biggest basketball coaching convention of.
And work on your skills. So you listen.
What?
You don't want to embarrass. Yeah, I'm talking.
What is going on? Robin, are you okay?
Robin Washut.
Are your kids near you, or what just happened?
Husker Online.
I took a lot of preparation to make this thing a flawless interview, and clearly I still can't avoid it.
Robin Washut, Husker Online.
Maybe it was aliens. Maybe it was a phenomenon that we can't explain.
The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
We're back, and we're joined on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline by Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. Hi, Robin.
What's up?
It's been good to see you. I haven't talked to you on the radio for a couple weeks, but I have seen you twice over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, the in-person meetups are the best because those have been few and far between as well with your
I know.
New stage in life here.
I know. Yeah. As little as I was coming to Lincoln for various, media opportunities, it'll be even less now, So I got to take advantage to see my guys when I can.
Yeah, but we appreciate you making the trip.
Yeah, it was good. I got a lot out of it. I saw that Micah Mizuka was a very big person, and you guys got to see that up close yesterday. He's gigantic.
Yeah, this is the first time he's done an interview since he's been at Nebraska, and we heard a lot about just kind of the nastiness that he brings to the position, and just kind of that physicality element. Talking to guys like Ty Robinson at Big Ten Media Days and whatnot, but to kind of just see his demeanor in person like that, kind of sealed the deal as far as my expectations for what he's going to bring to this offensive line. He is absolutely no nonsense, and I don't think talent was ever the issue with him. It was just a matter of could he do all of the things necessary to keep himself in a starting role over the course of the offseason. While things may have been a little bit of a slow start this spring, he got going in a hurry, and now you could make the case that he's right up there in the conversation for maybe one of Nebraska's most talented overall offensive linemen.
I think so too. It definitely changes the look of the room. Where I don't know, you plug in a guy with that much talent, and all of a sudden it makes you start to think about the ceilings a little bit more. Are we both in agreement that? Because I think he's going to be Nebraska's starting, left. What would it be, left guard or right guard on?
Yeah, I don't
week?
know. He was at left guard in the spring game, and then this last open period we got to watch practice. He was at right guard. So I think he's been training on both sides, just in case. And he's played some tackle too in his life too. So
he looks like he can.
Always a possibility. Yes, I mean he can play probably every spot, maybe besides center, but I anticipate him being at left guard if I were to project the starting lineup. But like I said, he's been working just as much as right as well.
The other position battle that I feel like is pretty interesting here, and Mike, I guess there's a few of them. Who would you expect to be kicking field goals for Nebraska in 10 days?
That's probably the biggest, depth chart question, maybe outside of running back right now, that we don't know, just because of Tristan Alvano's injury situation. He's kicking, doesn't have a yellow jersey on in practice. He's doing all the usual individual type things, but the one thing that he's still not cleared to do or being allowed to do is kind of completely letting loose on kicks. So kickoffs are not in the question or in the conversation at all for him right now. And then the other issue is how far are they willing to let him try on field goals? And so what's his range right now? He's I think doing a lot of the short to intermediary type of place kicking, but I don't think he's doing anything as far as ripping from 50 plus. And so you pair that with the emergence of John Hole, who when he came in as a late ad, and it was kind of a head scratcher because they had Alvano, and he was going to supposedly be here for the long haul. But people that had seen John Hall kick, especially after that year at Iowa Western, knew that he was a good one. And he was going to go to Coastal Carolina before he camped in Nebraska this summer. And as Ed Foley said the other day, he was a monster during that camp and showed a huge leg and was really consistent on his kicks. And, there's a reason that the Coles kicking camp listed him as the number 1 rated transfer kicker in the country this past offseason. So he had made a lot of gains this past season to where when he got to Nebraska, he was, I think, a much bigger threat to push for that job than most people assumed. So that has been the case. And, with that opportunity that Alvano's injury has presented for John, he's taken full advantage. And, right now with the positives being said about him and the questions surrounding Tristan Alvano, it would not surprise me if nothing else, John Hull's handling the kickoffs and maybe some of the longer field goal attempts and maybe just the outright place kicking duties altogether in week 1.
It feels like that's the way we're headed. I just didn't expect Alvano's injury to linger this long, but when you think about it, it's you don't want to put him out there or even really think about putting him out there if there's anything that's lingering. Because, it's such a delicate situation with a kicker. And then if he pulls one or, gets hurt again, you miss kicks. Before he goes out there again, I want to make sure he's completely ready to go physically and mentally. So I think that's the way we're headed too, Robin.
Yeah, and the injury that he had, that hip type of injury, that's like a shoulder injury in the throwing arm of a quarterback. That can really limit your effectiveness. And you're also talking about a kid that, has had his ups and downs already when he was healthy. And so, you pair trying to kick through an injury like that on top of trying to get his in-game confidence back, that might be quite a bit to ask, at least at this stage in his recovery.
When the first depth chart comes out 5 days from now, how would you expect it to read at the position of quarterback?
Well, we know who's going to be at the top.
Yeah.
It'll be Dylan. And then I think there's probably going to be a clear 2 with Harburg and a clear 3. Maybe an or between.
I was going to say, could I convince you there's an or there?
I could, because I think the plan is to redshirt Daniel Kaelin. And so he can still obviously play in his 4 games. But if it got to a situation where they needed a long-term solution after Raiola and Harburg, I'd probably say Gramstad's a bit of a safer bet, because I think that they feel good enough about him to play in case of emergency, and also he allows them to preserve that year of eligibility for Kaelin.
Yeah, I'm interested. I do think Kaelin's made that. I don't know if he's made a move from a depth chart perspective, but I do think there's this. You heard Rule talk about it last weekend. There's this really overwhelming sense that I feel like they talk like they could put him in a game right now and they wouldn't really mind doing that. I don't think they really want to for any extended period of time, but the way they talk about him, it's been pretty eye-opening for the last couple of weeks here.
Yeah, I think they're really high on him. And, in some of the snippets of practice we've been able to watch, Daniel's looked really good. And, he's got a lot of poise for being a true freshman. And so a lot of those intangibles that people praise Dylan for, I think, Daniel has some of that in his own right too. He doesn't have the maybe physical stature and just pure arm talent that Dylan does, but between the years, he's probably up there with anybody in that room. And then he's got a little bit more zip on his passes, and I think people realize. So if they want to balance out the classes, obviously having 2 freshmen, you want to be able to stagger that a little bit in terms of eligibility. And again, if things go right with Dylan, he could be gone in a couple of years too, and off to the NFL. So you want to be able to have a guy that you can just pass the keys to the car right onto and have a couple multi-year starter and waiting in the wings.
Do you think the Raiola announcement today changes anything about an approach, or really anything tangible until they kick it off in 10 days? Robin. Oh God. There you are. What's going on?
Oh, sorry. I don't know.
I was worried that it was going to cut out to your Bluetooth again. We were going to hear something that we weren't supposed to.
Good idea. I just turned my Bluetooth off just in case.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So I think what was the question again?
Do you think the Raiola announcement changes anything?
So I think that all it will change is how they handle the quarterback reps in practice, to where now you're operating with the very clear understanding that Dylan is the starter. And now that you're entering that kind of 10-day window of game prep for UTEP, that'll probably be the biggest difference is when they kind of do more of that first team, versus the scout team, game preparation and practice. It'll be Dylan handling the lion's share of that. That's probably going to be the only difference. But the way that they practice, everybody gets reps. Is I think as far as first team reps and the actual opponent prep stuff that goes on in practice, Dylan just takes on a bigger load of that.
Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. Okay, now that has happened, now that announcement's come down, I think we're officially out of topics. We could start the season tomorrow. That'd be fine if they wanted to move that up.
It's full blown kicker gate right now.
I am interested in the kicker situation. That's for sure.
I am too. And for a team whose whole motto is chasing three, the kicker's pretty darn important, isn't it?
It is. Okay. All right. Kicker gate has started now. That'll be the next 9 days before we start. Thanks, Robin. Talk to you later.
Yep.
Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. Let's go. Kicker gate. Clung clung. It's real. It's a real thing. It's like when I went to the open practice. It had been 2 weeks ago. This coming Friday. So 12 days ago. I had kind of heard that because that was the first day he was left off the 120 to start. And then we saw him out there kicking Alvaro in a yellow jersey. And so I kind of started poking around a little bit. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's the plan with him right now? And basically what I heard is he's kicking the full load of kicks.
Yes.
But he's not, he's not doing any of the team stuff. And obviously he's not kicking off. He's not running down on that yet. And so when I heard that, I kind of thought, oh, well, he'll be back. They expedited his return to the 120. It got, it feels like that, was coming along well, and it'll only be a matter of time. But this thing has just lingered on a little bit too long. And I do think you've seen an emergence here of Hull. Your boy, Josh.
My boy.
You probably didn't even know he existed. He was on the team all of last year. Won an Natty with you.
That's right.
You guys have a bond that will never be split and broken.
And I've never seen him.
And he plays for Nebraska. And I think there's been an emergence there. Like he's grabbed it a little bit. So if you're asking me right now, who's doing the kicking, I think it's John Hull.
I would agree. You want to be extra careful, especially while you can afford to be.
Kickers are like sports cars.
How so?
You just want to make sure everything's right. Right. Aerodynamically, the whole thing, if one little thing's off, it could just throw the whole situation into disarray.
You get one teeny tiny little rock in there.
Yep. Oh, crack in the windshield. It's a spaceship. Crack in the windshield. Well, this mission's a failure.
It's a no-go.
Time to go back home. Yep. Thumbs down.
Safe flight repair, safe flight replace.
That's what they would need. So, yeah, as of right now, I think that'll be the situation for Nebraska at kicker. Hopefully extra points only next Saturday.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
If they didn't have to kick field goals at all.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic, but it would definitely be pretty cool.
It would.
They had 12 drives and they were all touchdowns.
Oh, that'd be
that would be a hell of a start for the drive chart. That would send my drive chart into disarray. That'd really change some things from last year, wouldn't it? We got a random comment here from the YouTube that we can get to, Josh.
I have seen this. I have heard about this.
Now, do you think it's true? Female KC Royals fan from Nebraska comments into the show.
Very specific.
Very.
Username.
But thank you for letting us know. The stadium going cashless is a bad idea. People don't want to use credit cards. They want to use cash. Is this true? Can you confirm this?
I cannot confirm this.
Who are people and what do they want?
I don't know what people. I thought I knew what people wanted at the beginning of the week.
I really don't either. It turns out everybody's different. Yeah, because my view of people is maybe a little bit different than female KC Royals fan from Nebraska.
Now you're both Royals fans. You're both from Nebraska.
Not female though.
You are not. No. You live with all females.
I do. My girls.
That's adorable.
It is. It really is. Chris in South Carolina has a comment toward female KC Royals fan from Nebraska that I won't read.
Okay. I was going to say, everybody be cool.
Won't read.
We're on different sides of the aisle on this issue.
Didn't know it had to be political, Josh. All right. Quick timeout first. A reminder that this week's zone deal is to the Woodcliff Restaurant, Omaha's best outdoor patio. And that's just not me saying that. That is voted upon.
Voted?
Voted Omaha's best outdoor patio.
No steal here.
Woodcliff's delicious food, a perfect view of Woodcliff Lake, and the Thursday burger special, Friday fish special. That's what it's all about. You can get two $25 gift vouchers, which is a $50 value for just $25. That's half off. Friday at 9, 1620thezone.com. All right, once again, a very happy birthday to Sister Jean, who's seen a lot in her 105 years.
So much.
A lot of things.
All of the internet. Everything that has ever taken place on the internet, Sister Jean has lived through, including this show on ZoneTV.live.
Yeah, she's seen the entire existence of this show in her hundreds. TC, Charles Lindbergh makes the first solo nonstop transatlantic flight in 1927. She was there for it. The first
alive for it. She wasn't like
she was there
front row or anything.
The first Kentucky Fried Chicken opens in Salt Lake City, Utah, 1952.
52.
Yeah, she was more than 30 years old. Venus de Milo was the first to say that the chicken was finger licking good.
What? No.
what it says.
Is that true?
That's what TC. I believe TC on pretty much everything. Also, Alaska
Venus
and
de Milo, the thing with no arms.
It licked her arms. She licked her arms off. That's the joke.
That's the joke.
Yes.
Okay.
Alaska and Hawaii become states 1959.
That's well into her life.
Sister Jean was nearly 40. Actually, she was 40. I will be 40 for years.
What if when you turn 40, there's a new state?
I could see it. It's called
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, something like that. But they got to stay at 50. Either that or they're going to add 10 more or something like that. They can't, like, that number is too square.
You're not even going 52?
No, you can't go 52.
Okay.
You can't, you
55?
The only way that you could add, I just don't see how it works, Josh. 50 is too square.
It's a great number.
You would have to add 50 more states.
I mean, think about the song, the 50 Nifty United States.
Yeah.
Like,
it just wouldn't work anymore. It really wouldn't. Sorry.
I hear you working. I don't necessarily
you can't have 51,
disagree.
that's for sure.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
If they could have had 51, then we would have already called Puerto Rico a state.
Mm-hmm.
We would have already done that, or Guam or something like that. Anyway, a couple other things here. First, an email on cashless. We're not doing this again, by the way. John emails in.
Hi, John.
I've had the same two $1 bills in my money clip for at least 2 months. I'd be considered an old by many, but I have figured out that if you use a debit card, not a credit card, it's just like spending cash. In swiping or tapping the debit card, it's not confusing, even for an old like me. Wow, John. Seems really easy.
I go to the grocery store.
It's very hard to spend $1, by the way. What do you spend $1 on? You can't.
Nothing.
You can't get in nothing for that.
Pray to God a child rings your doorbell and says, "I'm selling chocolate bars for $1."
Here, kid,
Would you
take
like to
$1.
buy one?
No, they're taking card too. They're like, check out my Venmo.
Here's my Venmo QR code.
Yeah, they're like, I got my OnlyFans up. You can donate to that too.
If a child comes to your door and says they have OnlyFans, close the door.
Run away immediately. Run away.
It's a trap.
It's most certainly a trap. I love mock drafts, Josh. Love mock drafts.
Love a mock.
Especially in August.
The perfect time to do one.
When the draft is in April. Field Yates put out his early first round predictions, his mock draft.
I love that it's not a way too early mock draft. It's an early mock draft.
It's just early now. It's not way too early. Way too early is right after the draft. We're not right after the draft anymore. Field Yates, the guy who just got a really good TV face.
Yes. Yes.
Really good TV face. His name is Field. You know, he's got that whole thing working for him. He's got a mock draft. I don't care about any other the other things that happen in this draft. It scrolled all the way down to the bottom.
As you do with a mock draft.
This is what I always do, Josh. I go to the mock draft and I go to scroll all the way to pick number 32. Nothing matters. The draft doesn't start until pick 32. And look who shows up at pick 32. To the San Francisco 49ers, who he's projecting to win the Super Bowl, it appears.
Yeah, that's part of this too.
Yeah.
God, I don't
hasn't
remember
happened.
my ESPN password.
Yeah, that's okay. You don't. I'll read this to you.
I want to know who goes number 1 and number 2 and number 3.
Carson Beck, by the way.
Too much neck.
He does have he's a long neck guy for sure.
He's got a girlfriend too.
James Pierce to Carolina, number 2. Damn it, we're getting the number 2 pick. At least not number 1. Shedeur Sanders goes number 4, by the way. All right, we're done.
Okay.
Tommy Hill. First round mock draft grade, Tommy Hill. Field Yates is on the Husker Big Red bandwagon. Put him on the train with me and Denzel.
Did you happen to listen on Sportsmanlike Conduct Friday?
No.
When Michael Severe was here?
No.
They did a segment where they let Michael tell us all who will get drafted.
Really?
I think he had like eight Huskers.
Where did he
drafted.
say Tommy Hill's going?
I don't remember.
Yeah, like first round.
So I believe he was just saying so-and-so's going to get drafted. So-and-so's going to get drafted.
Oh, okay.
And best case scenario, worst case scenario. Like worst case scenario, he said like 5 Huskers are going to get drafted.
Nebraska's had Nebraska hasn't had a first rounder since Prince Amukamara in 12 or 11? 12? And his career is now come and gone. He's sister gened all the way through the NFL. He's lived a whole life.
That's right.
And that all before Nebraska got their next first round pick. Tommy Hill, as Field Yates writes, as things presently stand, both Shavarius Ward and Diamador Lenore are going to be free agents in March.
Diamador Lenore.
Remember Diamador Lenore? Nebraska recruited Diamador Lenore all the way to the last minute.
That's a great name.
With Mike Riley. Yeah, he's a good player. He ended up going to Oregon. Retaining them is surely a priority, but also an expensive endeavor for a team that might not be able to keep its core together. Hill is a star with even more room to grow. He played wideout early in his college career, including last year, and is still refining the nuances of the cornerback position. He has a nose for the football, and is fearless, and he's unafraid to make plays near the line of scrimmage in the run game. Now, that last sentence is true. He is most certainly fearless. His lack of fear has been a problem at times, I'd say. But nevertheless,
and his coach is going to give him a good recommendation.
There's no doubt about that. I would imagine that has something to do with why he's mocked where he is, if we're being completely honest in this situation. He's most certainly fearless, not afraid to be out on that island. He thinks he's the guy. His coach has told him he's the guy. I just, and I know how this works, but I'm just not really on the Tommy Hill hype train yet.
Oh.
I'm just not there.
Okay.
I can't do it. I need more convincing. He was really good at the end of last year. I just need more of a sample. This reminds me of the whole Teddy Prohaska thing. I just get really scared. Teddy Prohaska was great. He played a few games, and he had that one incredible game against Northwestern, and Nebraska won by 100 points in 2021. And it was like, bang, that's our left tackle for the next 4 years, first round NFL pick. And let's just wait. Let's just wait.
Or we could feed the hype monster.
You can do it. Other people are already doing it. They're already doing that. Matt Rule's doing the Tommy Hill. I'm just not.
Matt Rule knows ball.
I'm just not there yet.
Matt Rule coached Christian McCaffrey.
I'm sure.
Who is a 49er.
He did. I'm sure that Tommy Hill will have a nice year. I'm not sure if he's a first-round draft pick. And hopefully, if he stays on the track that he's on, then he's like an all-conference type of guy, right? He should be really good. I'm gonna be patient on this one.
Connor on the YouTube chat.
What?
Travis says, Connor, why do you hate fun?
I don't hate fun, Travis. I love fun. We talked about rats having New York accents today. That's fun.
Which they absolutely do. And you can vote on the poll question at Happer Show on Twitter.
I don't know. I just need to say it a little bit more before I put the crown on his head.
A skosh more?
A skosh.
Okay.
Go guard Travis Hunter for a little while. I'd like to see that matchup.
I think you will to some extent.
Didn't we see it last year a little bit? And that was the play where he fell down. That was the back-breaking play.
Whoa.
Well, wasn't it?
Focus on the first half.
This was in the first half.
Damn it.
The back. Oh no. This is early in the third quarter, right? Because
Yeah.
it was the backbreaker.
Yeah.
Didn't he fall down? Didn't he fall over?
I believe you're correct.
And they hit the guy down the sideline?
Well, that's because, Colorado was cheating.
Yeah. I just a little more. I'm just a sample size guy. Forgive me. I got a baseball brain. Now, Bobby Witt Jr., that guy's a superstar.
Hitting
sample size.
405 at home.
Yeah. Where's my scroll on the bottom of MLB Network?
Yeah.
I don't see it yet. Chris in South Carolina.
Hi, Chris.
Couldn't agree more. I just need to see him actually own a good wide receiver or be consistent. He got beat a couple times last year bad.
I mean, there's so few chances to see a good wide receiver in the Big Ten football conference.
There's physical ones.
Yes.
There's also not very many good quarterbacks in this stupid conference
That
either.
is true as well.
It's really kind of hard to be a good corner in this league.
That's why it's so exciting.
It's basically
to have Dylon.
It's basically off a reputation alone. Even though Will Johnson's probably the best player in America, the corner at Michigan, but reputation.
What do we say about good Big Ten quarterbacks? What's like the number one thing we usually say? Well, he's won everywhere he's been.
Yeah, he's a winner. Really does those little things. Text from the 402.
Hi, 402.
I'm with you, Happer. Is this hype solely thanks to Rule and Co? What fans are saying he's this good? Now, like when Rule talks, like people are just, really, I don't know. Like when he says something, you think, oh, okay, that's the truth. Now I could just put that aside in my brain. I don't have to worry about this.
I mean,
Tommy Hill is, for the people who have put Tommy Hill aside and they're saying, I don't have to worry about Tommy Hill because he's already got that side of the field locked down. I'm not there yet. He's still on my mind. You were always on my mind. That's me and Tommy Hill.
Okay, yeah. I'll agree with, I'll meet you there, but I will also say, I think Matt Rule knows a little more about football.
He does, of course he
than
does.
the guy on the couch watching Nebraska football.
Hey, I'm not on the couch. No JD Vance jokes. I am on the radio.
That is true.
Love
You're
it.
in the stands whenever you can be, or the press box.
That's right. On the sideline sometimes too.
That's right. I do love that Saturday morning picture you usually get on the Snapchat or the Instagram.
What?
Instagram. You'll often post a little picture Saturday mornings that you're on the sideline.
Oh, yeah. When I go to the games,
I get excited when I see that. I'm like, oh, my guy's there.
Okay,
Because I can't be there.
I'll keep doing that. For
I
you.
want to be there, but I can't be there.
Poll questions will tell you what to watch on the other side. One more reminder that Ralston Days is right around the corner. Speaking of next weekend, 1620 The Zone and Liberty First Credit Union Arena present Ralston Days. Brought to you by Liberty First Credit Union and all of our stations here at NRG Media. Next weekend, August 30th through September 2nd, in the Liberty First Credit Union Arena parking lot. Free admission, carnival rides, music, food trucks. It's going to be awesome. Stop by, please, next weekend and find out more information on our website, 1620thezone.com. All right, welcome back. More the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. We have covered a lot of ground today, as I believe will be evident in our poll questioning. Here's what we have. Also, we had a starting quarterback announcement during the show. That happened.
No big deal. Now, John Bishop is going to come in here and tell you that you're all idiots for thinking that this is exciting, because we've known this for months and months and months.
John would never do that.
Allow me a day.
Yeah. It's a fun one. At Happer Show, JTech Construction's own Twitter feed. Did Dazzy Vance have a hell of a year in 1924? Yes.
Absolutely. We read the numbers.
He was killing Walter Johnson. 81% say yes.
Good job, audience.
Is it almost Harry Potter season? Like I said, this will be an 80% yes. 60% yes. 59% yes. Wow.
60, not 80.
My apologies.
Many people are on my side, the side of the traumatized. Thank you, audience.
Does Hogwarts feel like West Lafayette?
Now, that one I agree with, yes.
That one is 50-50. Ooh. Do you remember Made in Manhattan?
I do, actually. I believe I went and saw it on a date with the same person who...
With Harry Potter girl?
Harry Potter girl.
Oh,
yes.
my God.
She's like, take me to see Made in Manhattan.
You
And
probably
I said,
haven't seen it since.
And I said, you know what? There's popcorn there. Okay, sure.
I do. I watched Made in Manhattan on DVD a couple times.
Oh, really?
Maybe VHS. I'm not sure. It's definitely on like VH1 a lot.
Great pull. Yes.
Was Made in Manhattan on VH1 a lot? Would be a good poll question. Actually, put it up there just so it's included in the end of the month thing, because I really like it. 57% say yes. If rats could talk, would they sound like New Yorkers?
Yes, people, they would. Absolutely.
87% say yes.
Thank you. That's one that I don't care where these polls lie most of the time. That one I care about.
And one last poll question for you guys to vote on was Made in Manhattan on VH1 a lot. That's up at Happer Show. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We're watching Major League Baseball. Lots of games today. Many of them on right now.
Neither Royals win bad.
Mets and the Orioles are on MLB Network. 2-2 in the 7th. Pirates Rangers going on right now on ESPN Plus. FS1 tonight, 6:45. Busch Stadium hosts the Cardinals. They are playing the Milwaukee Brewers, and afterwards, FS1 will air a documentary on the life and times of Bob Uecker, who is still alive, by the way, titled Mr. Baseball, A Life in the Front Row. Then Mariners Dodgers, 9 o'clock first pitch on MLB Network. Little League World Series about to start here on ESPN. A couple of 2-0 teams cutting it up, Nevada and Texas, followed by Latin America versus Mexico, 4 o'clock on ESPN. To a certain segment of the audience, let me tell you, yes, those are two different places.
Latin America and Mexico. That was going to be my follow-up, yeah.
Florida and Hawaii in an elimination game tonight on ESPN. WNBA, 8:30 tip on ESPN. Minnesota, the Lynx, and the Las Vegas Aces. And finally, 7 o'clock ABC, Who Wants
The
to
Bachelor.
Be a Millionaire?
Oh, whoa. Who's the host?
Jimmy Kimmel. Okay. Spoiler alert.
I thought you were going to say Seacrest, so pleasant surprise.
Allow me to have a little Jeopardy chat for like 12 seconds here. Ike Barinholtz was on the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire last week, won the $1 million. How
about that?
No surprise to us Jeopardy heads.
Not at all.
Everybody Loves Raymond's Ray Romano and Brad Garrett reunite and compete for charity.
Brad Garrett,
Yes.
home of Brad Garrett's Comedy Club in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you walk through the MGM, they're like, there's a lot of signs for Brad Garrett. Brad Garrett's face is everywhere. Brad Garrett's Comedy Club. It's in the MGM. All right, thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's what we're watching tonight. If you miss anything, you can find it all. 1620thezone.com. The crossover is next.
in Council Bluffs on Saturday, August 31st for your chance to meet all three Husker Heisman winners, Johnny Rogers, Mike Rozier, and Eric Crouch. Starting at 9 a.m. on August 31st, you can get a special commemorative autograph and hang with the Heisman winners. We're tailgating, grilling out, and giving away tickets for this year's big rivalry game in Lincoln on September 7th. It's a football fan's paradise Saturday, August 31st at Edwards Nissan. Plus, we've got huge discounts on over 600 vehicles for one day only. Blitz pricing that makes Black Friday look like kindergarten. No money down, just sign and drive. Too many great bargains to mention. Join us Saturday, August 31st from 9 a.m. to noon with all three Husker Heisman winners, Johnny Rogers, Mike Rozier, and Eric Croucher at Edwards Nissan in Council Bluffs.
It pays to make the drive.
To Edwards Nissan, just off the South Expressway exit at 920 32nd Avenue in Council Bluffs and online at edwardsnissan.com.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball, proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
Tune in to 1290 Coil all season long for your Omaha Storm Chasers baseball as they take on the International League. It's Storm Chasers baseball on 1290 Coil.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes, but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or over-the-counter medicine we picked up for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Are you a business leader considering a new credit card and spend management system? You could stick with the old school process